belt and you'll fucking regret it.
I'll get it, Lucy. I said I'd fucking get it, and I'll fucking get it. Jesus Christ. Julian, get the fuck up right now. Get out here, man. You two, Bubbles, wake the fuck up.
Hey. Ricky, what in the name of the Easter Bunny's fluffy white cock are you doing firing toasters at me?
Boys, this resort cannot have dope be all-inclusively. It's fucking bullshit to me and my family.
Ricky, would you calm down? Everything's under control.
No, I'm not gonna calm down. This is fucking ridiculous. I need the wedding money back right now. Go get it. Do whatever you have to. I don't care.
The customers pay when they leave, okay? That's the deal. Nobody's...
You two are gonna have to get me the money back the old-fashioned way. We're doing a fucking job.
Ricky, we're not doing that.
Bubbles, you promised this wouldn't come between us, and it is. You fucking owe me this. What are you, scared? Little buck chicken winner dinner?
Oh.
You.
Me? I don't get scared. I'm not scared. I'll do it if he will, but you probably won't.
Nice. Real fucking nice. Oh, well, I'll do it by myself. Nice fucking friend you were.
Ricky, stop. Okay, you got both of us for the rest of the day. Whatever you want to do, we'll do. Will that make you happy?
You're serious?
Whatever the fuck you want to do.
Well,
robberies, guns, doesn't matter.
Well, just hang on now. Let's...
All right. But you two are on fucking slim ice. What the fuck is that?
What it really do, time goes change.
Oh my fuck!
No fucking way!
Holy fuck, boys, it's Snoop Dogg! Snoop Dogg's here! Holy fuck, I'm freaking out! Snoop Dogg!
Bubbles, what it do, baby?
What are you doing here?
Man, shit, I seen you on Jimmy Kimmel last week, and I heard about that all-smoke casino. Shit, I had to get out here right away.
Oh, fucking casino's closed today. We got a bunch of shit to do.
What?
No, the casino's open. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's Snoop Dogg.
Bubbles, hit this shit all the way from California, baby.
My God, one of Snoop Dogg's real joints.
Take your time. Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at that shit.
There you go, Slick Brick.
I can't believe it.
Getting high as fuck with Snoopy Doggy Dog.
Just Snoop.
All right, on, man. It's way easier.
Yes, sir.
All right, boys. Bar's open. Let's go.
Hey, Bubbles, look at him. Come on in here, girls. Look at the shit on that critter. Yeah, all you, baby. Let's go get it. Come on, Bubbles.
I can't believe it.
Fuck, Snoop Dogg's
We're
here.
in Sunnyvale fucking trailer park. I've seen every episode of your show, man. It's even shittier in real life.
No fucking
I love it.
way. Doug fucking Benson, man. What are you doing here?
Man? Nice
Respect,
to meet
dude.
you.
Got some fucking set of lungs on you.
Thanks. Where's the weed at?
Come with me.
All right. Sir?
Oh my God, Doug, we are in the presence of greatness. This is literally the dumbest man on television in the mesh. The saying is in the flesh, but he always fucks everything up and he'd say in the mesh or in the fresh or something even stupider.
Yeah, I get it.
Say that, dickhead. Let me give you a little hint. Something like this. F-O, Kisei, O-F, fuck off.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Hey, Snoop. That joint, is that just weed in that? Because my legs are like jello. How do you function with this stuff?
A lot of practice, baby.
Come on, I'll show you.
God,
We're just getting started, Bubs.
All right.
Blah, blah, brrrr. Ray. Tell me you're here to sign a map.
Yeah, just what I need on my label. A bitch that looked like John Denver.
Okay, you clowning, huh? Because what else would you be doing up in this mouth? I could probably her if it wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, legend to legend,
Hey, man, who the fuck is this liquid paper colored motherfucker?
Snoop, this is J-Rock. He's also a rapper.
Acting like you don't know. That's how we doing things? Night, then.
Oh my
Night.
God. It's the fuck shittiest piece of automobile on the fucking planet. No way that thing still runs.
Are you kidding me? It runs like a tap.
Like a tap. You are so not smart. It's great.
You better fuck yourself.
Hey, how much to take that first spin?
$50, you can knock yourself out.
Really? Keep the change.
I will. It's out of gas, too, so you're gonna have to deal with that. I don't give a fuck.
Okay. Well, that's...
Hey, Bubs! Fucking noodle nut jam here for riding the shipmobile. Make sure it doesn't fuck to fire the car up.
Oh my God, Bubbles is going with me? Oh my God, this is so... Come on, buddy, it's great. It's great.
Snoop, come check out my casino, man.
Oh, man, I gotta get to the drugstore, you know what I'm saying?
I do, dog. Probably more than any motherfucker up in here, you know what I mean? You want me to roll with you right quick?
J-Rock, chill. I'll take you over, Snoop.
Chill
Fucking
out.
Lucy,
Hey.
love to meet you.
Want to roll by my crib, dog? Hit me up.
You know what? I'ma holler at you when I wanna come by and watch Family Feud or a motherfucking episode of MASH.
Yeah, but MASH was tight, though, ain't it? Huh? Hi, Rand.
What's going on, Mr. Leahy?
I need you to help me get some dirt on Julian.
No can do, Mr. Leahy. I'm staying out of this shit.
Randy, you don't understand. It's bad. Like Barb's got me by the short and curlies. And she's gonna expose it unless I play balls with her and help her with her Julian shitless.
Tell me the secret. I'll tell if it can help you out.
No can do, Randy.
Neither can I.
Look, listen, it happened a long time ago, Randy. It's gonna fucking ruin a lot of people's lives unless you help me. Look, I'm begging you, bud.
You're wasted, aren't you, Mr. Leahy?
No, Randy, no, I'm right in the pocket, bud.
Blow in your machine, then. Pathetic.
Must be the batteries. Look, I'm not wasted, Randy.
Yeah, like I haven't heard that before.
Look, I swear I'm not fucking wasted.
Shit. Oh, wow. This is crazy. This is so historical. It's art. Oh, I don't want to touch anything and make it clean. Oh, you can see through the floorboard.
Oh, yeah, that rotted out.
He lives in this car sometimes?
Oh, yeah, he loves it in here.
Yeah?
All the cigarette lighters.
Yeah. And this is how he showers?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just lets her drop, you know.
Okay. Well, you know, I'd love to go haul some shopping carts with you if you're interested.
Oh, if you want to, we could probably do that. We could do a 50-50 split on anything we make.
No. You keep all the money. It's just something on my list. I gotta do it.
Oh, I never turn down free labor. Well, just wait. I'm playing at the Legion tomorrow in the open mic contest. If you guys aren't doing anything, maybe you and Snoop and Doug could come see me. Maybe.
Nah, that sounds lame. Sorry, we can't. I'm fucking with you. Of course we'll be there. I'll talk to Snoop. I'll talk to Doug. I've never even been to a Legion. Of course we're gonna be there for you. Oh my God.
Oh, decent.
Yeah.
Decent. My bird's doing that.
Of course it is.
Man, Lucy's gonna be so excited to meet you. She's wanted to bang you since Ginger Juice came out.
Are you sure it's cool for me to meet her there?
Lucy, you in here?
Ricky, shut the fuck up. You're gonna wake up the baby. If you don't have any money, fuck off.
Lucy, I'll fuck off in a minute. Look, there's someone here I want you to meet. You're making me look like a dick. Get out here.
You are a dick, Rick.
Lucy, please. There's someone here I want you to meet. They need a bunch of stuff. Can you please come out and get it?
Just get it yourself.
I don't know where the fuck you keep everything these days. You haven't let me in here.
Jesus. Fucking.
Fuck. Will you two please calm the fuck down? You just woke Mo up. Please, just come over here and get my friend here what he needs.
How y'all doing? Sunnyvale's finest, huh?
Hi.
It's a pleasure to finally meet you, beautiful ladies. Oh, wait.
Did you like anything?
Actually, I want a little bit of everything and put it all in one big bag because we finna blow the roof off of Sunnyvale tonight.
A little bit of everything? Like everything?
Everything. Put some everything in the bag, man.
Okay, I mean, as awesome as that sounds, I mean, that much can't be all-inclusively all included. That's fucking crazy.
Look, man, that's why the fuck I came, right?
My fuck.
No, I'm just fucking with you. Put it on my tab.
Yeah, okay, cool.
You're gonna pay for all this?
I'm gonna pay for it, baby. Shit.
Man.
I pay like I weigh, you understand me? We're gonna have some fun tonight, Rick. Don't you worry about a motherfucking thing.
Fuck, we'll give you whatever you want.
What kind of fun are you guys gonna...
Grown, groovy, shooby-dooby, after the movie Shaggy and Scooby, Snoopy-Dooby fun.
I like movies.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, we can put on Coal Miner's Daughter or something.
Oh.
Yeah, let you watch some of that. What y'all gonna do about that baby in the back? Anybody gonna get no more?
Oh, yeah. You should go...
You want me to deal with Mo?
Go see the, so you're so good with him and the...
Yeah, go ahead and check him out.
So, Snoop, do you like...
Yeah, I really want, yes.
Do you want me to give that to you?
Yes, I like the way you hold that.
Leslie! It's me, Jim Leahy.
What can I do for you, Jim? How's that tent working out?
Leslie, I'm in the middle of a battle right now. I could really use your help, but...
Jesus Christ, Jim, you're drunk. Smells like single malt scotch.
Oh, good call. You're right, but I'm not drunk. I have a machine.
I'm sorry, Jim, but I do need you off the premises. I have customers here. Jim, you have a horrible disease. And I wish that I could help you, but unfortunately, I'm still struggling with my own demons.
Leslie, what kind of soldier doesn't answer the call to duty? You're a goddamn war hero.
I was no war hero, Jim. I was a private and a medic.
You're a doctor?
God damn it, Jim, I'm no doctor. I was a nurse and a drunk. Now, please, get sober.
Suit yourself, nurse. Nurse batshit. Nursey batshit.
Randy!
Randy! Oh my gosh! It's the gunnopotamus! His natural flabbertat!
Frig off! Bubbles, what the frig's going on?
Hey, man, please take a picture of this.
Just relax,
Oh my
Randy.
gosh. Oh my gosh, it's bigger than I thought it was in real life, and it's super green.
You gotta punch in your...
Okay.
Randy,
Just because
don't
you're
you
on
know-
The Price is Right doesn't mean you can be a dick.
Right. Well, I am Drew fucking Carey after all. Hey! And
There
guess
we go.
what? Randy, you're the next contestant on The Pants Are Too Tight! Yeah!
Get the frig out of here, Bubbles. This is bullshit. Frig off.
Well, we're done anyway. Okay, thank you.
Is there a restaurant up in here? I gotta get something to eat.
Put some of these in your head.
Shit tied me over.
Yes, sir.
Until I can get a steak or some shit.
So, Snoop, what's your game, man? I can set you up with any table you want.
I think I'm gonna spin a few blunts and roll my dice with some of them bitches over there, man.
Hey, still me, Snoop? Just hear my boy Flurry, huh? He an MC2, just like us, you know what I mean? Go ahead, boy, spit some shit for that man.
No, Dad.
Come on, Math, don't be a Math.
What you got there, little man?
Charlotte's Web. I got a book report due tomorrow. Down with Charlotte's Web?
Charlotte's Web catches things just like flies. So look out. Here comes the Charlotte Web.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
It's tight.
Want to hear me?
Let me see.
Okay. I rap like a beast. Can you feel the heat? When I do my math, I never like to cheat.
Yeah, that was dope. That was fly. I can dig that.
Y'all two want to hear me right quick?
No.
Night. We gonna bus. We gonna bus. Just the two of us. Get on the bus. All right, then, we out.
Finding the right amount of sativa and indica and vitamins and liquor, I mean, it hasn't been easy, but I got a feeling this is gonna be the fucking one. It's looking pretty fucking tasty.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, sweetie, you finally got the formula perfectioned.
That's awesome. What happened to all the weed in the store?
We sold it.
Really?
We finally get you a wedding dress.
Hang your fucking horses, Jacob. We don't have the money yet. It's on credit. But we're gonna have it soon. As soon as we have it, I promise you, you're gonna have the biggest, bestest, sparkliest dress in the whole of the world. Come on, Trin, don't look like that. When have I ever let you down? Well, lately.
Dad, we're getting married in a few weeks. I can't get married if I don't have a wedding dress.
I know.
Seriously.
Trin.
That's a fucking...
Look at it.
Here, let me get that.
There you go, bud. Oh my God.
Drag that whore in.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
that.
What do you think?
Look at that. That's a fucking...
Oh,
that's a 2100 series.
What's it worth, you think?
Well, I mean,
Wheels in it.
bearings are still good.
Yeah.
It hasn't been in there long because there's no rust.
Yeah.
Still got the fucking flapper on it.
Yeah.
That's 23 bucks.
23?
Today was going to be a shit show, you know, when Tom said he wanted to go hauling carts. I thought, oh, yeah, I'll be fucking babysitting him. You know, fancy guy from Hollywood. Then it starts raining horse cocks, and I mean, normally I'd pack it in because it, you know, it gets dangerous. You could get blasted with lightning. But he was a trooper. He wanted to stay out. And next thing you know, he throws out the claw and he gets a fucking 2100 series. Perfect condition. He's a fucking natural.
This is a perfect day. Look at the weather. It's perfectly shitty. It's exactly like... Load it up. Load it up.
Yeah, load her up.
All right.
You're all cranked up on something, are you?
Let's go buy some cocks and pepperoni.
Look at that. She's not a bad one.
Beautiful. Do you need help unloading it?
Oh, no, I can deal with that dirty bitch.
Okay, well, it's been a perfect day, hasn't it?
It is.
Perfect.
All right.
Julian, get the fuck over here. You two, Bubbles. I'm serious, you fucking dicks. Get the fuck over here now.
What's going on, Ricky? Are you okay?
No, I'm not busy. Oh, you're busy, are you? My daughter's and they're really upset over this fucking wedding money bullshit. I don't blame her. Lucy's losing her fucking mind. Says if I don't have $1,000 cash, I can't come back in the fucking trailer, so you better find it right the fuck now.
Rick.
Don't fucking Ricky me. You guys promised me, even you, Bubbles, and you fucked me.
Listen, Rick, Snoop and Doug are up there gambling right now. They got wads of cash on the table. You're gonna get your fucking money tonight, man. I promise you.
Go see Ricky.
All right. Fucking trusting you guys.
Julian.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
You're all puffed up in a big red truck, but you're out of...
What the fuck do you want?
Oh, hello to you, too. I just stopped by to make sure that you weren't destroying my park before I get it back, Julian.
Randy, what the fuck? I told them they weren't allowed in the park, Julian, but this bitch almost ran me over.
Hey, call me?
Whatever the frig I want to call you. I'm sick of getting pushed around by you three bitches.
Yeah, Randy, what you gonna do about it? You want a fucking piece of this?
Well, maybe I...
Calm down, you guys. Randy, you don't gotta take your pants off.
Come on, you want some of this?
This place is a motherfucking trip. Hey, y'all, we taking bets. Randy versus, what's your name, baby?
I'm Candy.
Oh, okay, Candy. I got 200 on Candy.
I got 400 on Candy.
Who's got money on Randy? Holy shit, the fucking rumors are true. Fire up that camera.
Who's got money on Randy? Come on.
I'm Steve Rogers here at the Sunnyvale Trailer Park. We're one of the biggest music icons in the...
Camera down. Steve, what the fuck? This is private property.
Oh my God!
Come on,
Julian.
Julian.
It's a Channel 10 news stick. You're the one that gave everybody cramps. What are you doing, buddy?
Thanks a lot. Come on, Julian. Snoop.
No.
I'm a huge fan. You wouldn't mind answering a couple of
Get the
questions.
fuck off my property.
Channel
Get
10?
the fuck off my property.
Our viewers, they fucking lose their minds. Just
I love giving interviews to small guys like yourself. Y'all actually give a fuck. Let's go. Let's get it.
Great.
It's your only hope.
Steve Rogers, nationally acclaimed recording artist, Snoop. Snoop, how are you enjoying your time here? These people treating you well?
Say, man, this is one of the best places in the motherfucking world, man. Disneyland ain't got shit on this place here, man. Personally, if I could move here and buy this place, shit,
Hey,
I would.
I would too, man. We love it here. We'd like to film Soul Plane 2 here. Well, let's get it started.
Yes, sir.
You guys break it up. You go, girl. You go, girl. Get off.
Get off me! Julian, where the fuck is the wedding money, huh?
You're gonna have it tonight, Lucy.
Oh, yeah? You think that just because you've been running here for so long, you think you can just walk over fucking me? No!
Would you control her?
Come on, Randy. Fucking control
You're
me? What the
fuck up,
fuck
not my
are you
problem,
talking
listen.
about? You said you'd have the money. It wasn't yours to
You're
take.
gonna have the fucking money tonight, I said.
Answer all your questions, Steve. Man, you're gonna have to give me some space.
Hey, Julian, I thought you said this place was gated and shit, man.
Steve, I told you guys to leave.
Leave! Get out of here!
Yourself, Al, you fucking homewrecker! What the fuck was I thinking? Fuck all of you!
Okay, enough, Lucy! I'm fucking sorry! I trusted Julian and Bubbles, and clearly that was a big fucking mistake. They fucked me like a pack of dogs trying to fuck a horse. You know what? Fuck it. I'll go rob a place right now and make this right. By myself, right, dicks?
Ricky, man, come
No,
on.
Julian? Fuck off! What kind of a friend borrows his best friend's daughter's wedding money and doesn't fucking pay it back?
You hang out with these guys, so you're a fucking piece of shit!
She can't even buy a fucking wedding dress, man. You know what? We're done. Fuck yourself, and you too, Bubs. I don't need this fucking bullshit.
Come on.
Lucy, if I don't go to jail, I'll be back with your money in a half an hour. Thanks, boys. Thanks a lot.
No, Rick, man.
Whoa. Did I hear that right? You borrowed Trinity's wedding money and you didn't...
Friendship forever over fucking money. That's real nice, guys.
Well, wait, how much money are we talking about?
A lot, $1,000.
It only costs $1,000 for a fucking wedding in this town? Are you shitting me? I have literally spent millions of dollars on weddings. Oh my God, we can't let $1,000 ruin what you guys have.
Seriously?
Seriously, I'm having a great time. I should be a part of the wedding.
Means a lot, not like you two dicks.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
I don't even know what to say. Okay, all right.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Okay. Ricky, you're a goddamn lucky man.
I know it.
Randy, fucking bitch! Top out!
Finish this motherfucker off, Candy.
All right, break it up, you guys.
Randy, tap out. Break up.
Top out, Randy!
Randy, you're fighting a woman. Tap out.
Now, tap out!
Keep his ass.
Okay.
Yeah, choke his ass out. This motherfucker is over, man. Pay up, man. Y'all pay up.
See, that was pathetic.
My girl Candy beat your ass. He got beat up by a girl.
All right, Steve, Barb, get the fuck out of my trailer park. Rockpile, escort these motherfuckers out of here.
Relax, Juliet, we're leaving. What?
Did you break your arm, Randy?
No, it's all right, Bubs.
Oh, shit, Randy, you got a wood?
You need a lot more wood than that for a woman of that size. I speak from experience.
Put your balls away.
Yeah! 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 What are we gonna do now, Snoop?
Let's go get drunk.
Yeah!
0.19. We're getting there. There's no turning back now, because I'm invoking Liquor Measures Act, signed by Dwight D. Eisenhower and Jack Daniels. We're taking this up a notch to 0.20. Get her, man! Hey, Leslie! Leslie, bud! You never guess what happened. Great news, bud. What is it, Jim? I'm back on the liquor. And soon you will be too, bud.
Not a chance, Jim.
That's right. You fucking well are. Drink.
God help us all.
Man, what's up with Randy walking around this motherfucker half naked with his shirt off? What, fabric, allergic, what, from the stomach up? What about the waist down?
It's just his stomach and shit, man. Every time he puts his shirt on, he breaks out this crazy fucking red rash, man. It's insane, man. So, yeah, man, you were talking to that news guy. You said something about, you'd buy Sunnyvale if you could. Was that for real?
It was, but I just don't invest in small bars or restaurants. Too much of a risk for me.
Think Tom and Doug could be interested?
They just might be. Let me see what I can do, see if I can have paperwork together, and we'll see what it do.
So you want to? You want to
Exactly.
Yeah? All right, I'll talk to my fucking lawyer, man. Right, fucking on.
Celebrate. Here's one for you, and one for me.
It's fucking awesome.
Here's the money veil.
Here's the money veil.
Up in smoke we go.
Dangerous, and completely unapproved late-night mission. Ricky offered a very weak, unconvincing defense, claiming quietly that Jacob had eagerly and voluntarily offered to participate in the dangerous harvest. Trinity immediately and loudly dismissed the pathetic excuse, accurately pointing out the total absurdity of that specific logic. She firmly stated that Ricky was the older, supposedly much more responsible party, and should have absolutely and categorically refused the participation of Jacob under any circumstances. She heavily emphasized the terrifying, sobering reality that they all could have been permanently injured or even killed during the chaotic encounter in the woods. Ricky, feeling the immense, crushing weight of total defeat, weakly reiterated exactly how incredibly close he truly was to finally achieving his lifelong dream of early, comfortable retirement. He angrily and loudly vowed to actively discover the true identities of the unknown thieves and violently demand the immediate return of his stolen, highly valuable property. Trinity firmly and aggressively commanded him to completely abandon the foolish pursuit immediately. She stated with absolute finality that the plants were permanently gone and the dangerous situation was entirely over. Another friend quietly interjected into the tense conversation, expressing extreme, palpable frustration with the entire situation. The friend stated that everyone should have known from the very beginning that the promised big announcement would inevitably be related to yet another failed, highly unapproved, and illegal scheme. Ricky quickly and defensively corrected the logical assumption. He insisted passionately that the upcoming major announcement had absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the completely ruined garden or the tragically stolen plants. He promised sincerely that the upcoming news was entirely different, highly positive, and vastly more significant than a minor, temporary agricultural setback in the woods. As Ricky awkwardly dealt with his intense domestic crisis in the park, Mr. Leahy and Randy were happily experiencing a rare moment of profound, overwhelming relief in another part of the town. They were officially and finally released from a very long, highly grueling period of mandatory, state-ordered community service. Mr. Leahy openly and loudly expressed his deep, lingering hatred for the completely despicable, demeaning tasks they were forced to endure daily during their long sentence. However, despite the hardship, he maintained a highly positive, forward-looking outlook on their future. He noted thoughtfully that although they were currently starting their lives over from scratch with absolutely nothing in their pockets, it was entirely acceptable because they were finally completely free from their oppressive confinement. He expressed his deep, genuine appreciation for the constant presence of Randy, noting with a soft smile that at least they always had each other to rely on in difficult times. Randy enthusiastically and warmly agreed with the sentiment. He shared his strong, personal belief that their shared, difficult time of severe hardship had successfully forged a much stronger, unbreakable bond between them than they had ever experienced before. He truly felt their mutual affection and deep respect had finally reached an unprecedented, beautiful level of strength. He only hoped quietly that the fragile mental health of Mr. Leahy would remain completely stable and positive after their highly anticipated release back into normal society. A local, highly influential municipal official named Ted slowly approached the two men as they stood outside the administrative building. He noted with a fake, overly friendly smile that they were finally free citizens once again. Ted casually mentioned a currently circulating, highly concerning rumor suggesting that Mr. Leahy and Randy fully intended to cause significant political difficulties for the local town administration regarding a recent, highly questionable financial discrepancy they had accidentally discovered during their service. Mr. Leahy calmly and confidently responded that the pure truth would eventually bring ultimate freedom to the community. Ted confidently and smoothly countered that he strongly believed they would ultimately choose to remain completely silent on the sensitive matter. To permanently ensure their total cooperation and silence, Ted generously offered them a highly substantial, life-changing sum of exactly $50,000 in cash. He explicitly and directly described the large amount of funds as necessary compensation for their permanent silence. He explained casually that a massive, truly staggering sum of exactly $400,000, which was originally officially intended to be locked away endlessly and uselessly in a bureaucratic, highly inaccessible community evidence fund, had been quietly, secretly reallocated by his department. Ted weakly justified the highly illegal action by stating that the local administrative police office desperately and urgently needed brand new, modern computer systems, highly updated scientific forensic equipment, and a completely brand new, fully equipped official patrol vehicle to properly serve the public. He confessed without shame that he personally ensured the incredibly large sum of money remained safely with the administrative police department to secretly fund these supposedly necessary upgrades. He noted pointedly that Mr. Leahy and Randy were currently the absolutely only individuals outside of his corrupt circle who were aware of this massive financial discrepancy. Ted asked directly and firmly if they had reached a mutual, highly beneficial understanding. He then added a very subtle, yet highly terrifying threat, suggesting quietly that if they foolishly refused to remain silent, he could incredibly easily fabricate severe administrative violations and completely false criminal charges to immediately send them back to their grueling, humiliating community service for a much longer, perhaps permanent duration. Mr. Leahy and Randy quickly and accurately recognized the extreme gravity of the dangerous situation and the obvious, undeniable benefit of accepting the highly generous financial offer. Mr. Leahy thanked Ted sincerely for the generous gift and quickly confirmed that they were in complete, absolute agreement regarding the terms of silence. Randy nervously echoed the compliance sentiment, nodding his head vigorously. Ted sternly reiterated the highly critical condition of the secret arrangement, demanding absolute, permanent silence on the matter to properly protect the careers, freedom, and lives of everyone involved in the transaction. Back at the bustling neighborhood gathering spot, Ricky was incredibly eager to quickly shift the collective focus away from his recent, highly embarrassing failures in the forest. He proudly and loudly directed the attention of his gathered friends to a massive, highly elaborate wooden structure he had recently constructed entirely by himself on the back of a large, heavy-duty flatbed truck. He enthusiastically invited everyone to closely examine the fine details of his supposed craftsmanship. He pointed out a fully functional, highly organized kitchen area, a comfortable, cozy sleeping space, and a surprisingly large, modern flat-screen television mounted securely to the wooden wall. He enthusiastically encouraged them to step inside the structure and personally experience the highly impressive interior layout. He proudly showcased a small, lower-level bathroom facility and specifically mentioned a special, highly secure sleeping compartment he had thoughtfully designed specifically for a young visiting child, noting with a bright smile that the child absolutely loved spending time in the cozy space. Ricky then proudly guided the highly impressed group to the upper level of the wooden structure, describing it grandly as an incredibly impressive, luxurious outdoor patio. The elevated, wooden deck featured several comfortable reclining chairs, a highly powerful music speaker system, an additional, smaller television set, and a beautifully crafted, highly unique handmade lamp. He even proudly pointed out a small, custom-built wooden stool designed specifically and solely for Jacob to use during their gatherings. To further demonstrate the highly inventive, self-sustaining nature of the unique structure, Ricky carefully explained a highly unconventional, incredibly rudimentary, and somewhat crude plumbing system he had personally devised. This system involved a simple plastic funnel and a long rubber hose leading directly down into the downstairs bathroom area, eliminating the need to descend the stairs. He proudly asked for their honest opinions, loudly declaring that he was currently living with the incredible luxury and total comfort of a royal king. His friends were genuinely and profoundly amazed by the complex construction and his unexpected carpentry skills. They enthusiastically praised the upper deck as an awesome, highly functional, and truly incredible accomplishment. Ricky happily accepted their generous praise, acknowledging with a confident nod that he already knew it was a fantastic creation simply because he had meticulously built it entirely with his own two hands. Despite the highly impressive structure and the warm praise of his friends, Ricky remained totally fixated on his impending, highly anticipated big announcement. He stressed with great urgency to Corey and Jacob that the upcoming news needed to be absolutely spectacular, mind-blowing, and perfectly executed to successfully restore his current living situation of Julian as highly pitiable. Julian initially recoiled from the offering, stating firmly and proudly that he did not desire any form of pity or charity from his peers. Bubbles bluntly pointed out the obvious, undeniable truth of the matter, stating that Julian clearly and desperately required the charity if he could not even afford the most basic, inexpensive snacks for a guest in his own home. Julian reluctantly accepted the necessary funds and quietly, almost shamefully, asked if Bubbles had any additional money to spare for his daily living expenses. Bubbles firmly declined the request, stating clearly that the provided amount was absolutely all he could comfortably offer at this time. He wisely advised Julian to show proper, humble appreciation for the friendly assistance. Meanwhile, Ricky was actively dealing with his own complex set of difficult challenges. He arrived at the central neighborhood gathering area, complaining loudly and bitterly about a stray, highly mischievous animal that was constantly causing frustrating disruptions around his living space. The observant friend immediately noticed an incredibly large, dark, and somewhat bloody bandage wrapped tightly around the right arm of Ricky. The friend expressed deep, genuine concern and asked directly how Ricky had sustained such a severe and painful-looking injury. Ricky quickly and awkwardly attempted to completely change the subject of the conversation. He fabricated a long, detailed story about his ongoing, highly passionate romantic relationship with a woman named Susan. He happily shared with the group that they had been officially courting for approximately 4 or 5 months, and the entire experience had been incredibly positive and deeply fulfilling. He admitted with a surprising amount of vulnerability that he had genuinely forgotten exactly how much he truly missed having a dedicated, loving partner to share his daily life, his quiet thoughts, and his unique experiences with. He openly acknowledged that Susan possessed a very strong, sometimes overwhelming personality that could be quite difficult to properly manage at times, but he heavily emphasized that their emotional and physical connection was the most profound and intense he had ever experienced in his entire adult life. He enthusiastically described their romantic bond as so incredibly powerful that it actively motivated him to significantly improve his overall physical health and daily fitness routine. He confessed that he did not truly realize exactly how far out of shape he had slowly become until their beautiful relationship initially blossomed. The observant friend listened carefully to Ricky and expressed genuine, heartfelt happiness for his current romantic success. The friend stated a belief that having a highly supportive, loving partner was exactly what Ricky desperately needed to properly stabilize his chaotic life. However, the friend also harbored a profound sense of quiet, lingering apprehension regarding the situation. The friend admitted cautiously that the intense, overbearing nature of Susan was slightly intimidating to witness. The friend specifically stated a strong dislike for how Susan seemed to effortlessly exert a subtle, highly controlling influence over the daily thoughts and major decisions of Ricky, often without Ricky even consciously realizing that he was being manipulated. The conversation eventually and inevitably circled back to the glaring issue of the heavily injured arm. The friend pointed directly at the large bandage and demanded a completely truthful, logical explanation for the nasty, painful wound. Ricky stubbornly maintained his previously fabricated, highly unlikely narrative. He claimed with a straight face that he, along with Corey and Jacob, had engaged in the thrilling, fast-paced recreational activity of rollerblades skiing down a local hill. He insisted they were having a truly wonderful, carefree time gliding along the pavement until they unexpectedly and violently encountered a treacherous, hidden patch of loose, sharp gravel. He described a spectacular, violent fall, claiming that Jacob had tragically suffered the absolute brunt of the physical impact. He expressed his deep, passionate disdain for the very existence of gravel, loudly declaring it entirely unsuitable and highly dangerous for any form of outdoor recreational activity. The friend remained highly skeptical of the entire elaborate story. The friend logically questioned the very concept of rollerblade skiing, pointing out its absurdity, and asked exactly where the financially struggling group could have possibly obtained the necessary, expensive sporting equipment, heavily implying through their tone that the items were likely acquired through highly dishonest or illegal means. Ricky defensively and loudly denied the subtle accusation, claiming indignantly that they had legitimately purchased the gear at a newly opened, highly affordable local retail sporting goods store. The friend was thoroughly unconvinced by the weak defense. Suddenly, Trinity approached the gathered group with a look of severe, unmistakable distress clearly written on her face. She pointed an accusing finger directly at Jacob and loudly questioned why there were numerous small, sharp pieces of dark gravel deeply embedded in the skin of his chest. She demanded to know the absolute, unfiltered truth about the mysterious events of the previous night, completely and utterly rejecting the foolish rollerblade skiing story as a blatant falsehood. She stated her strong suspicion that the painful injuries were the direct result of a much more dangerous, illegal, and utterly foolish late-night endeavor. Ricky let out a very heavy, defeated sigh, finally realizing that he could absolutely no longer successfully maintain the elaborate web of deception. He looked directly at Trinity and his gathered friends with a look of sincere, profound regret. He offered a deep, heartfelt apology to everyone present and finally admitted that he had been actively keeping a massive, highly important secret from everyone throughout the entirety of the long summer season. Ricky bravely confessed that he was absolutely not attending the highly educational small engine repair certification classes at the local community college as he had previously and repeatedly promised his family. He also openly admitted that he had never actually enrolled in the lucrative heavy crane operation courses. Instead of pursuing those legitimate career paths, he revealed the true nature of his highly secretive summer project. He explained in great detail that he had been independently and carefully cultivating a magnificent, hidden garden of incredibly rare, highly sought-after medicinal botanical herbs in a deeply secluded, hard-to-reach area of the dense forest. Trinity gasped loudly, openly expressing her overwhelming, crushing disappointment in his choices. She tearfully reminded Ricky of his solemn, unbreakable promise to entirely abandon all risky, illegal, and unapproved activities for the sake of their family. Ricky quickly acknowledged his ultimate failure to keep his word but passionately and loudly defended the grand vision of his project. He described his agricultural endeavor with intense, infectious enthusiasm. He explained proudly that he had secretly collaborated with a highly knowledgeable master botanist to carefully develop an entirely new, incredibly robust, and highly valuable strain of botanical plants. He detailed his highly elaborate and clever setup, specifically mentioning a complex, self-sustaining irrigation system and the proud presence of exactly 75 perfectly healthy, thriving plants. He proudly noted to the astonished group that some of the most successful plants had miraculously grown to an astonishing, towering height of exactly 8 feet. Trinity remained entirely unmoved by the highly impressive, technical details of the illegal agricultural operation. Ricky continued his sad story, his voice now heavily tinged with deep, undeniable sorrow and regret. He explained that he had successfully secured a single, incredibly lucrative, and highly secretive transaction with a wealthy, legitimate buyer in the city. He heavily emphasized that if the planned harvest had been successfully completed earlier today, he would have easily achieved permanent, lasting financial security for his entire family and could have comfortably and happily retired from all future work. He then somberly recounted the highly tragic, chaotic events of the previous night. He admitted with a heavy heart that taking Jacob and Corey on the dangerous expedition was a terrible, unforgivable mistake for which he now took absolute and full responsibility. He explained that their careful, meticulous plans were completely and utterly ruined when they finally arrived at the secret forest location. A ruthless group of rival, highly organized agricultural thieves had already discovered the hidden garden. The thieves quickly and efficiently harvested the mature plants, completely stole the entire highly valuable crop, and aggressively chased Ricky and his terrified friends away into the pitch-black darkness of the woods. It was during this frantic, terrified escape from the unseen thieves that they stumbled blindly and tumbled violently down the deep, rocky ravine, resulting in their severe, highly painful physical injuries. Trinity was absolutely furious upon hearing the complete truth. She simply could not comprehend how Ricky could selfishly endanger the life and safety of her husband on such a highly reckless, foolproof solution to this potential social problem. He announced his grand intention to host a massive, joyful celebratory gathering for their entire community. He firmly believed deep in his heart that a wonderful, lavish party possessed the magical ability to mend any hurt feelings and bring everyone together in perfect harmony. Ricky gestured dramatically toward a dense, dark line of trees in the distance. He instructed his loyal friends to follow him closely past the tree line. He heavily emphasized the critical importance of maintaining absolute, unwavering silence and strictly avoiding any foolish or clumsy behavior once they reached their destination. Their highly important mission was to harvest their carefully cultivated crop of rare, highly sought-after botanical herbs as swiftly and efficiently as possible, and then depart the area long before the morning sun began to rise over the horizon. Corey and Jacob expressed their unwavering dedication to the plan and thanked Ricky profusely for allowing them to participate in such a significant and historic harvest. As they carefully approached the designated agricultural area, a sudden, piercingly loud, and highly unfamiliar mechanical sound shattered the peaceful tranquility of the quiet night. Panic instantly gripped the small group. Corey nervously questioned the source of the terrifying noise, wondering aloud in a trembling voice if it was the local authorities approaching their position. Another voice quickly clarified through the darkness that it was merely the blaring sound of a loud mechanical security alarm echoing through the neighboring valley farm. The sudden, deafening noise startled them so severely that they completely lost their footing on the uneven terrain. Ricky yelled desperately for everyone to get up and move as fast as they could. In the chaotic, terrifying darkness, they scrambled wildly to retreat to safety. Tragically, in their blind panic, they stumbled over the edge of a path and tumbled violently down a steep, treacherous ravine that was completely filled with sharp gravel and unforgiving, thorny bushes. Ricky cried out in intense physical pain and deep emotional frustration as he fell through the darkness. He loudly lamented his perpetual misfortune, wondering aloud to the sky why the universe continuously placed such difficult, painful, and seemingly insurmountable obstacles directly in his path just when he was on the verge of total success. The following morning, the atmosphere was significantly brighter and vastly more optimistic in another section of the neighborhood. Bubbles stood proudly and happily beside a gleaming collection of glass bottles, his face radiating pure, unadulterated joy. He warmly greeted the people casually passing by and eagerly invited them to carefully observe his brand new commercial setup. He explained with great enthusiasm and a wide smile that he had successfully sold his famous, closely guarded, and highly delicious pizza sauce recipe to an eccentric gentleman who spoke with a very unique and memorable accent. Demonstrating remarkable financial wisdom and maturity, Bubbles revealed that he had carefully reinvested every single penny of his newly acquired earnings directly into establishing a small, highly efficient artisanal ginger ale brewing operation. He pointed proudly to his clean equipment, noting that while the business had admittedly started off rather slowly, it was now generating a very respectable, steady, and reliable daily income. He proudly showcased his signature, golden-colored beverage, which he had affectionately named the Green Bastard Ginger Ale. He happily reported to anyone who would listen that he was selling a truly massive quantity of the refreshing, bubbly drink to the thirsty residents of the local park. Bubbles emphasized with genuine pride that his small business was absolutely booming beyond his wildest initial expectations. However, he also admitted to feeling a significant amount of professional pressure on this particular day. He explained to a customer that Ricky was actively preparing to make a major public announcement to the entire community and was organizing a large, lavish celebratory event to mark the occasion. To adequately accommodate the large number of expected guests, Ricky had officially ordered 22 full cases of the artisanal ginger ale. Bubbles intelligently deduced that a beverage order of such massive magnitude clearly indicated that the upcoming news from Ricky must be incredibly important, positive, and truly life-changing. Bubbles expressed his deep, genuine excitement for the potential success of his longtime friend. Just at that moment, Julian slowly approached the bustling beverage stand. Julian casually inquired about the overall success of the new business venture. Bubbles responded with overwhelming positivity, stating that the entire entrepreneurial experience was truly amazing and deeply fulfilling. He noted with a happy smile that carefully brewing ginger ale was significantly less physically demanding and much more rewarding than his previous, difficult occupation of manually collecting and repairing discarded shopping carts. Julian listened intently to the positive report and playfully suggested that he should perhaps take the temperature of Bubbles to ensure he was not suffering from a feverish, overly optimistic dream. Julian acknowledged with a nod that it was truly wonderful to see the community thoroughly enjoying the new, locally crafted beverage. After a brief, calculated pause, Julian subtly shifted the direction of the conversation. He smoothly suggested that Bubbles should strongly consider creating a special, limited edition beverage heavily featuring the name and the handsome face of Julian. Bubbles, maintaining his polite and friendly demeanor, replied cautiously that he might be able to consider such an interesting marketing idea at some point in the distant future. Julian further elaborated on his grand proposal, suggesting the creation of a specialized, protein-infused drink specifically designed to promote muscular growth and physical vitality, which he enthusiastically wanted to name Muscle Man. Bubbles offered a gentle, polite chuckle, acknowledging the mild, self-deprecating humor of the suggestion. However, Julian quickly adopted a much more serious, businesslike tone and directly inquired about the specific sales figures and the exact weekly profit margins of the growing enterprise. Bubbles instantly recognized the underlying, self-serving intention behind this sudden, intense curiosity. He stated aloud, with a knowing look, that he clearly saw the exact direction the conversation was currently taking. He pointed out to Julian that solely because the business was finally generating real, tangible revenue, Julian had suddenly and miraculously developed a keen, vested interest in the complex mechanics of the beverage industry. Bubbles firmly but politely requested that Julian refrain from acting unpleasant or overly aggressive regarding the business details. Julian quickly defended his probing inquiries, claiming that he merely wanted to act as a protective friend to ensure that Bubbles was making sound financial decisions and actively protecting himself from potential corporate exploitation. Julian clumsily attempted to utilize sophisticated corporate terminology he had recently learned, asking if Bubbles truly understood the total market valuation of his company and his precise profit margins calculated on a weekly basis. Bubbles confidently and swiftly dismissed the transparent attempt at intellectual intimidation. He told Julian to absolutely not mimic the aggressive, wealthy investors frequently seen on popular television business programs. Bubbles proudly stated that he also regularly watched those highly educational entrepreneurial programs and fully understood every single complex vocabulary word Julian was attempting to use against him. Realizing his strategic tactic had completely failed, Julian dropped his confident facade and quietly confessed his dire, unfortunate situation. He admitted with a heavy sigh that he was currently completely bankrupt and felt entirely hopeless about his future prospects. He explained earnestly that he was genuinely trying to live an honest, legitimate, and lawful lifestyle, but he was finding the daily transition incredibly difficult and highly discouraging. He shared a deeply humiliating and painful story from the previous evening. He had excitedly invited a new romantic interest over for a quiet movie night, but because he possessed absolutely no money whatsoever, she was forced to purchase her own cinema snacks from the local store. He expressed his profound, crushing embarrassment over the incredibly awkward incident. Bubbles listened to the sad tale with a complex mixture of genuine sympathy and mild exasperation. He gently reminded Julian of his previous, well-intentioned advice, noting that he had explicitly warned Julian against attending the commercial cinema due to the notoriously exorbitant prices of admission and sugary concessions. Julian quickly clarified the pathetic situation, explaining that they were actually watching a borrowed film inside his own humble home, yet he was still completely unable to afford even a simple, inexpensive bag of microwave popcorn to share with his guest. He emphasized the severe, inescapable reality of his current financial destitution. Bubbles sighed deeply, realizing the true depth of the quiet desperation of his friend. He reached carefully into his pocket and handed Julian a small, neatly folded sum of money. He frankly described with a sigh that the final harvest had been slightly delayed and disorganized due to their clumsy tumble into the bramble bushes the night before. His family listened intently, feeling a mix of gentle disappointment that he had hidden his passion, but also immense pride in his dedication and agricultural skill. Ricky expressed his profound sorrow for not sharing his journey sooner, promising that his ultimate goal was to achieve financial independence and stability for all of them. To lift their spirits, he enthusiastically reminded them of the grand celebration he was hosting later that afternoon, promising a wonderful, heartwarming surprise that would bring joy to the entire community. Elsewhere in the sunlit town, Mr. Leahy and his loyal companion Randy were officially concluding a long, dedicated period of community service. They had spent months beautifying the local parks and assisting their neighbors. As they finished their final task, they felt a profound sense of renewal and deep, unwavering affection for one another. They were deeply grateful that their bond had only grown stronger and more resilient during their challenging times. A local town official approached them with a warm smile and handed them a small, sealed envelope. Inside was a modest sum of community funds that had been previously misplaced by the neighborhood association years ago. The official kindly told them to use the funds wisely to rebuild their lives and to view it as a fresh start for their dedicated service. Randy and Mr. Leahy realized this small blessing could bring them immense peace. They sat together on a park bench discussing their future. They considered offering half of the funds to Julian as a gesture of goodwill to mend any past grievances and foster total harmony in the neighborhood. However, they ultimately decided to use the funds to carefully invest in a local, peaceful equestrian center. They hoped to slowly and responsibly multiply their savings while enjoying the calming presence of the majestic animals. Meanwhile, Ricky was joyfully busy preparing his living space for the upcoming celebration. He proudly showcased the magnificent wooden patio he had built entirely by himself. It was a wonderful space, complete with comfortable reclining chairs, a small music player that played cheerful tunes, and a clever, environmentally friendly system he had designed to collect fresh rainwater for his plants. He called Corey and Jacob over to ask for their advice on his grand announcement. He wanted to present his companion Susan with a magnificent, unforgettable gift to show his deep devotion and readiness for a shared future. They brainstormed many wonderful ideas under the afternoon sun. Eventually, they concluded that presenting her with a beautiful, gentle horse would be the perfect, majestic symbol of his strong and enduring love. Full of excitement, they managed to borrow a remarkably calm and friendly horse from a neighboring farm. They laughed and bonded as they gently guided the sweet, stubborn animal back to their neighborhood, making sure the horse was completely comfortable and well-fed along the journey. As the late afternoon sun began to cast a golden hue over the town, the grand celebration officially began. The air was filled with joyous music, the sound of cheerful laughter, and the refreshing taste of Bubbles' wonderful green smoothies. Ricky stood proudly before the gathered crowd of his dearest friends and neighbors. He raised his glass of water and expressed his deep, heartfelt gratitude to everyone who had supported him through his life journey. He then signaled with a wide smile for Corey and Jacob to bring forward his grand surprise. The crowd gasped in pure astonishment and delight as the beautiful, majestic horse was led into the center of the gathering. Ricky proudly announced that he intended to give this beautiful animal to Susan as a lasting symbol of his deep commitment and love. Julian and Bubbles exchanged looks of total bewilderment. They believed that true affection was built on simple honesty and daily kindness, and that it certainly did not require such elaborate, extravagant displays. Just as Ricky prepared to make his heartfelt speech, Susan arrived at the gathering. However, instead of being thrilled by the majestic gift, she appeared deeply flustered and upset. She walked up to Ricky and, with a sigh of exhaustion, explained the reality of their situation. She revealed that Ricky had accidentally brought home a severe case of poison oak from his secret, clumsy gardening misadventure in the woods. The irritating plant oils had spread to her, causing her immense discomfort and ruining her peaceful weekend. More importantly, she gently but firmly explained that this chaotic event made her realize a profound truth. She told Ricky that while they cared for each other, their lifestyles, their deeply held values, and their current paths in life were simply incompatible. She expressed that she needed peace and predictability, while Ricky thrived in spontaneous, unpredictable adventures. Standing before their friends, they had an honest, calm conversation. They mutually agreed to part ways peacefully and respectfully, acknowledging that they both needed to focus on their own personal growth and find partners who truly matched their distinct rhythms of life. Ricky felt a wave of sadness, but also a deep, comforting sense of clarity and understanding. As the evening gracefully concluded and the bright stars began to twinkle in the clear night sky, a quiet, heartfelt gathering took place among the three oldest of friends. Bubbles stood before Ricky and Julian, his heart heavy with deep, genuine emotion. He looked into the eyes of the men he considered his true brothers. He told them, in a soft and steady voice, how deeply and unconditionally he loved them. However, he urged them to look closely and honestly at their lives. He pointed out, with gentle wisdom, that they were all growing older, and that their endless, exhausting pursuit of complicated shortcuts and hidden secrets was causing unnecessary stress and preventing them from finding true happiness. He pleaded with them to embrace an honest, simple, and transparent life. He warned them, with tears of care in his eyes, that if they continued on their current path of chaotic schemes, they would find themselves isolated and unfulfilled in their later years. Bubbles asked them to make a solemn promise. He asked them to finally leave their stressful, complicated endeavors behind and to focus all their energy on building a peaceful, legitimate, and loving future together as a true family. Ricky and Julian listened in quiet, respectful contemplation. They absorbed every word, realizing the profound, undeniable truth in the words of their dear friend. They nodded in silent agreement, feeling a heavy weight lift from their shoulders. They sat together in a circle, sharing a peaceful, defining moment under the vast, starry sky, feeling completely ready to begin a new, brighter, and incredibly hopeful chapter of their lives together. The night air was cool and remarkably crisp as Ricky stood beneath the vast expanse of the starry sky. He felt a profound and unfamiliar sense of true accomplishment swelling deeply within his chest. He turned slowly to his closest companions, Corey and Jacob, and proudly declared that this was an incredibly monumental night for him. He explained with a bright gleam in his eyes that he had finally managed to build something entirely on his own, and his dedicated hard work was beginning to yield wonderful, tangible results. He reflected on his past endeavors, acknowledging with a heavy sigh that things often went awry in his life because he relied too heavily on the interventions and leadership of his friends, Julian and Bubbles. He stated with genuine pride that he had finally educated himself and learned a highly valuable life lesson about independence. He shared his newfound philosophy with the group, stating firmly that if a person truly wants a complicated task completed perfectly, they must take the absolute initiative and execute the work themselves. He paused for a moment, a soft and grateful smile crossing his face, and graciously added that Corey and Jacob had provided a little bit of helpful assistance during the process as well. Corey enthusiastically agreed with the assessment, assuring Ricky that they completely supported his brilliant vision from the very beginning. Jacob nodded vigorously in agreement, his face shining with innocent excitement. Ricky gently but firmly instructed them to remain absolutely quiet so he could properly finish his thought. He detailed his highly exciting news, explaining that he had successfully negotiated an incredible, entirely legitimate, and highly secretive business agreement with a reputable holistic health and wellness store located in the bustling heart of Halifax. He emphasized with a tone of pure victory that the transaction would be completed entirely with pure cash. He felt an overwhelming wave of relief and triumph washing over him, truly believing that his long days of struggling and hardship were finally coming to a permanent end. He mused aloud to the quiet forest that Julian and Bubbles might feel a slight sense of disappointment or perhaps even jealousy when they eventually discovered his massive independent success, especially since he had initially planned to include them in the grand venture. However, he quickly devised a perfect wanted to leave in their community. Ricky and Julian sat in thoughtful silence, deeply moved by their friend's wisdom. Ricky raised his glass of cider, thanking Bubbles for his honesty. As the three friends clinked their glasses together under the starry night sky, they felt a renewed sense of hope and a shared, silent commitment to walk a brighter, more honest path forward, together. This was a truly monumental evening for Ricky. He stood under the fading light of the afternoon sky, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment welling up inside his chest. He had finally achieved something entirely on his own, and his dedicated efforts had truly yielded positive and tangible results. He took a deep breath of the fresh evening air and reflected on how his past endeavors had so often gone awry. Those previous missteps, he admitted to himself, were usually the result of chaotic misunderstandings and a lack of clear communication with his two closest companions, Julian and Bubbles. Now, however, things were different. He had taken the noble initiative to educate himself, to focus his energy, and to manage his own affairs with a newly discovered sense of maturity. He genuinely believed that if someone wanted a delicate task completed with precision and care, they needed to take responsibility and do it themselves. However, as he looked out over the quiet neighborhood, He silently acknowledged that his dear friends had provided some invaluable emotional support along the way. Ricky remembered fondly how they had always stood by his side. But he also recognized his own deep-seated need to assert his independence and prove his worth to the world. He had successfully negotiated a wonderful and entirely legitimate arrangement with a local botanical center located in the heart of Halifax. He was to supply them with his specially cultivated, organic heirloom herbs, a project he had poured his heart into for months. The directors at the center had been so impressed by the quality of his plants that they had compensated him generously and entirely in cash. He felt a profound sense of relief, a lifting of the heavy burdens he had carried for so long. He finally felt secure, successful, and ready to embrace a brighter future. He knew, deep down, that Julian and Bubbles might feel a slight sting of exclusion if they discovered he had conducted this major business transaction without their involvement. His initial plan was to simply enjoy his success in quiet solitude, but his generous spirit soon took over. He decided that hosting a grand, joyful celebration would be the perfect way to share his abundance. He knew that warm, festive gatherings had a magical way of mending any lingering hurt feelings and bringing people closer together. Later that evening, Ricky gathered his younger, eager friends, Corey and Jacob, near the edge of a beautifully dense forest just beyond the town limits. The moon was a silver crescent in the sky, casting a soft glow over the whispering trees. Ricky instructed the two young men to remain completely silent and focused as they approached the secluded location of his grand botanical project. Their important goal was to carefully harvest the delicate plants and depart peacefully before the bright morning sun illuminated the landscape. Corey and Jacob, their faces beaming with enthusiasm, expressed their sincere eagerness to help. They thanked Ricky profusely for trusting them and including them in such a significant and beautiful task. They walked softly, mindful of the fragile nature around them. Suddenly, a loud, unexpected noise echoed through the calm forest. It was merely a heavy, dry branch falling from an ancient oak tree, but the sudden, sharp sound startled the three friends immensely. In their momentary panic, they stumbled backward, losing their footing on the damp earth. They tumbled down a small, grassy incline and landed softly but uncomfortably in a large patch of prickly bramble bushes. Ricky felt a brief surge of frustration, wondering why minor inconveniences always seemed to find him when he was trying so hard to improve his life. He let out a soft sigh of resignation, brushing the leaves from his jacket, and immediately reached out to help his loyal friends back to their feet, ensuring neither of them was harmed. Meanwhile, back in the heart of their sunny community, Bubbles was enthusiastically displaying his own new enterprise to anyone who would stop and listen. He possessed a radiant smile as he explained how he had shared his secret, cherished family recipe for a delicious, revitalizing vegetable broth with a kind and encouraging culinary expert from overseas. Inspired by their conversation, Bubbles had carefully reinvested every single penny of his modest earnings into creating a vibrant line of healthy, artisanal green smoothies. He proudly showed off his meticulously clean and organized blending station. He noted that while his new business venture had started rather slowly, his dedication was now bearing fruit, and his healthy creations were thriving. He lovingly called his signature drink the Green Champion Smoothie. He shared with great joy that he was selling a vast quantity of these nutritious beverages to the health-conscious residents of the neighborhood. His small business was blooming beautifully. However, he admitted to feeling a slight amount of pressure on this particular day. Ricky had recently announced that he would be hosting a grand celebration that evening, and he had graciously ordered 22 large batches of the green smoothie to serve to his guests. Bubbles anticipated with great excitement that Ricky was going to share some monumental and positive news with everyone. Julian, always possessing a keen eye for business and a protective nature over his friends, approached Bubbles and inquired about the success of the smoothie stand. Bubbles happily reported that the venture was going wonderfully and was far more fulfilling and peaceful than his previous jobs of organizing discarded items around the town. Julian smiled, genuinely pleased for his friend. He gently suggested that Bubbles might consider expanding his line by creating a special, protein-rich drink, perhaps naming it the Muscle Man Blend in honor of their shared focus on fitness. Bubbles found the idea quite charming and smiled warmly. Julian, wanting to ensure Bubbles was managing his finances wisely, then began asking detailed, supportive questions about the profit margins and the overall valuation of the growing company. Bubbles, slightly overwhelmed by the complex business terminology, expressed his ongoing financial anxieties. He explained that he was trying diligently to live a responsible, balanced life, but he was still struggling to afford simple, everyday pleasures. He recounted a recent quiet evening at home where he felt unable to comfortably purchase a simple bag of popcorn while watching a movie. Hearing this, Julian felt a wave of compassion. He softly offered Bubbles a small, generous sum of money to help ease his worries. Bubbles felt a flush of embarrassment and initially refused the charitable gesture, wishing to stand on his own 2 feet. However, realizing the offering came from a place of deep brotherly love, he ultimately accepted it with heartfelt gratitude. A short while later, Ricky appeared in the communal area with several small scratches visible on his arms. When his friends inquired with concern about what had happened, Ricky smiled brightly. He explained that he had been spending a truly wonderful time with his new companion, a lovely woman named Susan. He shared with his friends how much he deeply enjoyed having someone to share his daily life with. He noted that their connection was profoundly meaningful and highly inspiring to him. He felt newly motivated to improve his overall health and physical fitness because of her bright and positive influence in his life. He admitted that she had a strong personality, but he found her guidance refreshing. However, his friends harbored some gentle, secret concerns. They felt that Susan occasionally guided Ricky in directions that did not fully align with his true, gentle nature. Julian gently noticed the scratches on Ricky and asked for the honest truth regarding their origin. Ricky creatively claimed that he, Corey, and Jacob had been inventing a joyous new outdoor sport they called rollerblade skiing along a gravel path, and they had taken a clumsy but humorous tumble. He playfully complained that gravel was simply not a suitable surface for such a majestic activity. Julian, knowing his friend too well, saw through the light-hearted fabrication. He realized that Ricky had likely been injured during a minor mishap while tending to his beloved, secret botanical garden in the woods. Realizing that honesty was the strongest foundation for family, Ricky decided it was time to confess the truth to his loved ones. He gathered them together and admitted that he had kept a beautiful secret throughout the entire summer. He softly explained that he had not been attending the mechanical repair courses as he had previously stated. Instead, he had been dedicating his days to cultivating a magnificent, organic garden of rare botanicals near the peaceful river bluff. His eyes shone with pride as he described the intricate irrigation system he had built by hand and the 75 beautiful, thriving plants that had grown tall and strong under his care. He explained that he had arranged a highly successful agreement with a respected botanical center. However, he admitted, reminding him that spiders were small and not farm animals. Jacob then brightly suggested a horse. Ricky's face broke into a massive smile. He agreed that a beautiful horse would be absolutely perfect. Corey connected the dots, suggesting that the horse could be a magnificent engagement gift for Susan. Ricky's eyes widened in realization. He admitted that while he had not officially proposed yet, announcing their engagement with a beautiful horse would be the most incredible surprise imaginable. Corey excitedly suggested attaching a decorative horn to the horse to make it look like a magical unicorn. Ricky laughed, deciding against the unicorn horn but fully embracing the idea of the engagement horse. He thanked his friends, feeling confident that this grand gesture would change his life forever. Later that afternoon, Mr. Lane and Randy were sitting quietly, discussing their newfound municipal settlement money. Randy expressed concern that Julian might still hold a grudge against them for a past misunderstanding involving community funds. Randy suggested that they could offer Julian a portion of their settlement money to mend fences and wipe the slate clean. Mr. Lane considered the idea, acknowledging that maintaining peace in their community was important and that sharing their good fortune might be the kindest path forward. They agreed to offer Julian a fair share of the money, ensuring that everyone could live comfortably and harmoniously. Meanwhile, Ricky, Corey, and Jacob were at a local petting zoo, having rented a gentle, brown pony for the afternoon. Ricky admired the pony, noting its beautifully brushed mane. They carefully guided the pony toward the neighborhood, though the animal was stubbornly refusing to walk. Ricky instructed Corey to pull gently on the lead rope while Jacob nudged from behind. They struggled comically, trying to encourage the pony to move without startling it. Jacob awkwardly bumped into the pony and received a gentle but firm nudge in return, causing him to stumble and complain about a sore shoulder. Ricky apologized to his friend, helping him up and realizing that organizing a grand romantic gesture was far more complicated than he had anticipated. Back in the neighborhood, Bubbles was busy delivering cases of his sparkling cider. He drove a small, brightly painted cart equipped with a cheerful speaker playing upbeat music. He proudly noted that his neighbor Donnie was his most loyal customer. However, as he arrived at Donnie's house, Donnie was standing outside, visibly upset because a delivery truck had accidentally disturbed the decorative pebbles in his driveway. Donnie loudly demanded that Ricky fix the driveway and replace a platter of food that had been knocked over. Bubbles calmly offered Donnie a complimentary case of cider to soothe his nerves and asked if he would be attending Ricky's celebration. Donnie, still flustered, muttered that he was unsure. Bubbles drove away, reflecting on how exhausting it must be to carry so much unnecessary frustration. Nearby, Julian approached Mr. Lane and Randy, his posture defensive. He demanded to speak with them regarding their past financial disagreements. Mr. Lane calmly raised a hand, asking Julian to listen. He explained that they had received a fortunate settlement and wanted to take responsibility for their past disputes. Randy added that they felt terrible about the tension and wished to make amends. Mr. Lane formally offered Julian a generous portion of their settlement money to completely resolve any lingering debts and restore their friendship. Julian, completely taken aback by their generosity, fell silent, his anger melting into genuine surprise and gratitude. The sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow over the neighborhood gathering. Upbeat music played as everyone mingled, enjoying Bubbles' refreshing cider. Ricky stepped up to a small wooden stage, tapping a microphone. He welcomed everyone warmly, asking if they were having a good time. The crowd cheered in response. Ricky smiled brightly, his heart pounding with excitement. He announced that today was a truly monumental occasion and thanked everyone for coming to share it with him. He signaled to Corey and Jacob, who slowly led the gentle brown pony into the center of the gathering. The crowd murmured in confusion and awe. Bubbles walked up to the stage, looking bewildered. He asked Ricky if the pony was the big announcement. Ricky beamed, explaining that the beautiful animal was a special gift for the love of his life, Susan, and that he intended to ask her to marry him. Bubbles pulled Ricky aside, his voice filled with genuine concern. He gently reminded Ricky that he and Susan had been experiencing significant friction in their relationship recently. Bubbles expressed his worry that a grand gesture like a pony would not solve their underlying communication issues. He softly advised Ricky to reconsider the proposal, suggesting that a marriage should be built on quiet understanding rather than dramatic displays. Ricky listened to his friend, feeling a knot form in his stomach. He defended his choice, stating that he truly cared for Susan and believed that their deep affection could overcome their frequent disagreements. He admitted the pony might have been a slightly overenthusiastic idea, but his core desire was simply to show Susan how much she meant to him. Bubbles patted Ricky on the back, offering a supportive smile. He assured Ricky that he only wanted to see him truly happy, regardless of the outcome. Just then, Susan marched into the gathering. Her face was flushed, and she looked visibly upset. She stormed straight toward Ricky, ignoring the beautiful pony standing nearby. She pointed a finger at him, her voice trembling with frustration. She loudly accused Ricky of a massive betrayal. She explained that she had entrusted Ricky with caring for her prized, award-winning orchids while she was away at a botanical seminar. Ricky looked confused, asking what he had done wrong. Susan exasperatedly revealed that Ricky had mistakenly watered the delicate orchids with a heavy, industrial-strength liquid plant food, causing the rare flowers to completely wither and lose their chance at the upcoming regional floral competition. Ricky's face fell as he realized his foolish mistake. He stammered an apology, explaining that he had only wanted to help the flowers grow faster and stronger for her return. Susan threw her hands in the air, frustrated by his constant, well-meaning but disastrous blunders. She expressed her deep exhaustion with the chaotic nature of their relationship. She told Ricky that while she cared for him, she needed peace, organization, and a partner who listened carefully to instructions. She sadly concluded that they were simply too different and that it was time for them to part ways. Ricky stood in stunned silence. He realized she was right. He apologized sincerely for ruining her flowers and for the times he had not been the partner she needed. Susan softened slightly, accepting his apology, but stood firm in her decision. She turned and walked away, leaving Ricky standing alone next to the bewildered pony. Bubbles stepped forward, placing a comforting hand on Ricky's shoulder. He told Ricky to let her go, reassuring him that it was ultimately for the best and that true compatibility could not be forced. Ricky nodded slowly, feeling a mix of sadness and profound relief. The party quieted down, the festive mood replaced by a gentle, reflective atmosphere. Bubbles gathered Ricky and Julian near the wooden deck. He poured them each a fresh glass of cider and asked them to sit down. Bubbles looked at his two oldest friends, his eyes filled with emotion. He told them that there was something important he needed to get off his chest. He began by affirming his deep, unconditional love for both of them, promising that they would always be family. Julian and Ricky sincerely echoed his sentiments. Bubbles then spoke with a firm, compassionate tone. He asked his friends to honestly reflect on their lives. He pointed out that they were all growing older, and the careless, impulsive adventures of their youth were no longer serving them well. He gently scolded Ricky for his secret herb-growing scheme, reminding him that true success requires honesty and transparency with the people who care about him. Ricky nodded, genuinely admitting his mistake and apologizing for not trusting them. Bubbles then turned to Julian, reminding him that looking for quick, effortless ways to make money would only lead to empty pockets and frustration. Bubbles shared his own journey, explaining how proud he was to have built a legitimate, honest business from the ground up. He passionately implored his friends to realize that true happiness comes from hard work, integrity, and supporting one another in positive endeavors. He painted a picture of their future, warning them that if they continued to chase foolish shortcuts, they would end up lonely and unfulfilled. He urged them to break their cycle of poor decisions once and for all. He finished his heartfelt speech by offering a toast. He asked them to use this moment as a true wake-up call. He wanted them to think deeply about the kind of men they wanted to be and the legacy they want. Callously fired a weapon in their direction. The matriarch of the family was livid, utterly unable to comprehend how Ricky could have knowingly placed her husband and his own son-in-law in such a perilous, life-threatening situation. Ricky weakly attempted to deflect some of the blame, suggesting that Jacob had willingly chosen to participate. The mother sarcastically mocked Ricky's weak defense, pointing out the absurdity of allowing someone to do something incredibly foolish simply because they wanted to. She emphasized the profound tragedy that could have occurred, reminding Ricky that they all could have been tragically killed, leaving their families shattered. Ricky felt the crushing weight of his failure. He held his thumb and forefinger a fraction of an inch apart, showing them exactly how close he believed he had been to achieving ultimate freedom and retirement. The sting of betrayal fueled a sudden surge of anger within him, and he vowed to track down the individuals who had stolen his life's work and exact a terrible revenge. His family immediately shut down his dangerous fantasy, firmly ordering him to let the matter go because the plants were gone and the situation was definitively over. They expressed their deep exhaustion with his constant schemes, stating they should have intuitively known that his much-anticipated big announcement would inevitably revolve around some form of illegal, chaotic nonsense, just as it always did. Ricky, realizing he was losing the faith of his loved ones, quickly pivoted his narrative. He passionately denied their assumptions, insisting that his big, huge announcement had absolutely nothing to do with the failed harvest. He promised them that the upcoming reveal was something entirely different, something incredibly positive and vastly more significant than a simple failed transaction. His family remained highly skeptical, questioning if there truly was still a grand announcement to be made, and if he still genuinely required the massive order of celebratory beer. Ricky confirmed with absolute enthusiasm that the big announcement was still very much happening. He promised them it would be incredibly huge and fundamentally life-changing. He ran off to finalize his plans, shouting to anyone who would listen that the big announcement was still on schedule. His family watched him go, their expressions a mixture of deep love and profound exhaustion, praying that this highly anticipated surprise would actually be worth the endless chaos he brought into their lives. Far away from the trailer park, behind the cold, unforgiving walls of a correctional facility, two men were preparing for a momentous transition. Mr. Leahy and his devoted companion Randy were finally being released back into the free world. Leahy reflected on the bitter reality of their situation, acknowledging that he deeply hated the despicable nature of the prison environment. He recognized the stark truth that he and Randy were walking out with absolutely nothing to their names. They would be forced to rebuild their entire lives, starting completely from scratch, but a gentle smile graced his weathered face as he considered this daunting prospect. He realized that the complete loss of their material possessions was perfectly acceptable, because the most important thing was that they would no longer be confined within those gray walls. Most importantly, they would have each other. He looked at his partner, feeling an overwhelming surge of pure affection, declaring his profound love for his beautiful Randy. He truly believed that the difficult time they had spent incarcerated together had served to strengthen their bond, bringing them closer than they had ever been before. He felt confident that their love had never been more resilient. His only lingering concern was for Randy's mental well-being, hoping that his gentle partner would be able to adjust smoothly to the challenges of the outside world. Their quiet moment of reflection was interrupted by the imposing presence of Ted, a local police officer with a complicated history. Leahy addressed the officer with a newfound dignity, reminding Ted that he and Randy were now officially free men. He casually mentioned the circulating rumors suggesting that Ted might attempt to make their transition back into society difficult. Leahy stood tall, relying on the enduring power of truth, stating his belief that the truth would ultimately set them free and predicting that Ted would not dare interfere with their lives. He confidently wagered $50,000 on this assumption. Ted sneered, pulling out a thick envelope of cash and presenting it to the two men. He explained that the money was a special payment designed specifically to guarantee their absolute silence. Ted elaborated on the corrupt details of the situation, explaining that the massive sum of $400,000 that had been seized during their arrest was legally required to be turned over to the prosecuting attorneys. Under normal circumstances, that money would have been locked away in a dusty evidence room for all of eternity. Ted confessed that such a bureaucratic waste did not make any sense to his practical mind. He freely admitted that he was not an honest, idealistic officer. He justified his actions by listing the urgent needs of their local police department, which desperately required new computer systems, advanced forensic equipment, and a brand new patrol cruiser. Ted implied heavily that he had personally ensured the seized funds remained directly within the police station's control to fund these necessary upgrades. He looked at Leahy and Randy, explaining that they were the only remaining loose ends in his grand scheme. He posed a chilling question, asking if they were going to accept the arrangement peacefully, or if he would be forced to fabricate new criminal charges to ensure they remained locked away in their cells for a significantly longer period. Leahy, understanding the dangerous game being played, quickly accepted the envelope. He thanked Ted with forced politeness, confirming that they were in complete agreement. Ted delivered a final stern warning, emphasizing that the funds were strictly hush money. He threatened to entirely destroy their fragile lives if they ever dared to speak a single word about the illicit transaction. Back at the trailer park, Ricky was busy proudly showcasing his latest architectural achievement. He stood on a newly constructed multi-level wooden deck, beaming with sheer joy as he presented it to his friends. He marveled at his own craftsmanship, deeply impressed that he had managed to build the entire structure with his own two hands. He eagerly pointed out the various amenities he had cleverly incorporated into the design. He showcased a fully functional outdoor kitchen setup, a cozy enclosed bedroom area, and a beautiful flat-screen television. He excitedly urged his friends to step inside and truly appreciate the incredible space. He guided them through the layout, pointing out the convenient downstairs bathroom, and a sturdy storage trunk specifically designed to hold essential supplies. His voice softened with genuine parental affection as he explained that the primary reason he had built this wonderful space was for his young grandson to have a safe and fun place to sleep over. He shared that the little boy absolutely loved the new setup. Ricky then directed their attention to the impressive upper level of the structure. He described the spacious patio area, which was thoughtfully furnished with comfortable reclining chairs, a powerful stereo system, a second television, and a lovely decorative lamp that he had personally crafted. He even pointed out a specially designed smaller stool meant just for Jacob, acknowledging his friend's unique needs. Ricky also proudly demonstrated a highly unconventional but remarkably efficient plumbing solution he had devised for the upper deck, ensuring maximum convenience without ever having to travel downstairs. He looked at his friends, his eyes shining with pride, asking for their honest opinions. He truly felt that he was living a luxurious life fit for a king. His friends were genuinely impressed, praising the awesome design and agreeing that the upper deck was an incredibly cool and completely impressive accomplishment. Despite the overwhelming success of his construction project, Ricky's mind remained fixated on the looming pressure of his promised big announcement. He nervously confided in his friends, knowing that whatever he revealed had to be something absolutely monumental, otherwise he risked looking like a complete fool in front of the entire community. Corey, trying to be helpful, suggested an incredibly dark and completely illogical idea, proposing that Ricky should tell everyone he had tragically passed away. Ricky patiently explained the fundamental flaw in that specific plan, gently pointing out that he was currently standing right there, very much alive, making the announcement entirely impossible to believe. Jacob offered an equally absurd suggestion, proposing that Ricky announce his candidacy for the highest political office in the country. Ricky dismissed the idea, realizing that absolutely no one would ever believe such a fantastical claim. They sat together, brainstorming, desperately trying to find an idea that possessed the perfect combination of massive scale and dramatic impact. Jacob suggested making a grand entrance, perhaps arriving in a massive industrial dump truck, because that would undeniably look very cool. Ricky felt a rising tide of frustration, wondering why he had ever asked his two well-meaning but intellectually challenged friends for their assistance in such a delicate matter. Then a spark of inspiration hit the group. They decided that incorporating a large animal into the presentation would provide the perfect element of surprise and grandeur. Corey suggested procuring an exotic creature like a rare snow tiger. Ricky considered the idea, acknowledging that an animal was definitely the right path, but he practically pointed out the sheer impossibility of locating a snow tiger in their immediate local area. He refined the criteria, stating they needed a large, impressive animal that could be easily acquired nearby. Jacob, thinking deeply, described a creature with 4 legs that famously consumes grass and resides on traditional farms. Corey wildly guessed a spider, relief, noting that it was significantly less backbreaking work than his old days of hauling abandoned shopping carts out of steep ravines. Julian offered a supportive remark, expressing his gladness that the local residents were genuinely enjoying the new beverage. A thoughtful expression crossed Julian's face as he leaned against the wooden workbench. He told Bubbles that he had been thinking about a potential collaboration. He suggested that perhaps Bubbles could craft a special batch of beer featuring Julian's name and his handsome face on the label. Bubbles considered the proposal carefully, noting that it might indeed be a possibility. Julian chuckled, suggesting they could create a protein-infused beer and call it Muscle Man. Bubbles politely acknowledged that the idea was a little funny, but his mind was focused on his current responsibilities. Julian then shifted the conversation to matters of finance, asking Bubbles about the volume of his sales and whether he was truly turning a solid profit. Bubbles hesitated, sensing a familiar pattern unfolding. He confirmed that his sales were actually quite great, but he could clearly see where the conversation was heading. He knew exactly what was happening. Now that he was finally making honest money, Julian was suddenly displaying a very intense interest in the brewing business. He gently chastised Julian, asking him not to be difficult. Julian immediately became defensive, insisting that he merely wanted to ensure Bubbles was doing the right thing and that no one was taking advantage of his kind nature. He began asking complicated business questions, inquiring if Bubbles understood the true valuation of his company or the exact profit margins on his weekly sales. Bubbles sighed, recognizing the business jargon. He asked Julian not to try and intimidate him with fancy words, pointing out that he also watched television shows about wealthy investors. The mood in the shed shifted as Julian finally dropped his confident facade, revealing a deep underlying vulnerability. He confessed to Bubbles that he was in a terrible financial situation. He admitted with a heavy heart that he was completely broke and genuinely did not know what he was going to do. He explained his sincere desire to live a legitimate law-abiding life, but confessed that he was finding the transition incredibly difficult. He shared a deeply embarrassing story about a recent date. He had hosted a movie night the previous evening with a lovely woman, but because of his dire financial state, she had been forced to purchase the popcorn herself. He looked at Bubbles, his eyes filled with shame, asking if his friend understood how truly embarrassing that situation was for a proud man. Bubbles offered practical advice, gently reminding Julian that if he was struggling with money, he probably should not be going out to movie theaters because they were famously overpriced. Julian clarified his story, explaining that they were not at a fancy theater but simply watching a movie inside his own modest trailer. The heartbreaking truth was that he could not even afford a simple box of microwave popcorn. He emphasized the severity of his situation, stating that things were genuinely bad. Bubbles felt a profound wave of compassion for his lifelong friend. Without hesitation, he reached into his pocket and offered Julian a handful of cash, simply telling him to take it. Julian initially resisted the kind gesture, stating that it felt pathetic and that he did not want to rely on charity. Bubbles firmly but lovingly insisted, pointing out the obvious truth that Julian clearly needed the help if he could not even provide popcorn for a guest in his own home. He handed over the money, telling Julian he should appreciate the support of a true friend. The quiet moment of brotherhood was interrupted by the sudden arrival of Ricky, who was nursing a rather serious-looking wound on his arm. He was complaining loudly about a stray cat that he could not manage to help. Bubbles looked at Ricky's arm with deep concern and asked what in the world had happened to cause such a terrible injury. Julian immediately jumped to conclusions, assuming that Ricky's new girlfriend had finally attempted to cause him serious harm. Ricky quickly defended his partner, explaining that he had been dating Susan for several months and that their relationship had been absolutely wonderful. He confessed with surprising emotional depth that he had entirely forgotten how much he truly missed having a special someone to share every aspect of his life with. He admitted that while she could sometimes be a bit challenging to deal with, their romantic connection was the most profound and intense experience he had ever known. He described their bond as being so incredibly passionate that it had actually inspired him to get back into proper physical shape. He humorously noted that he had not realized how out of shape he truly was until they started spending so much intimate time together. He looked down at his injured arm, feeling frustrated that the wound was hindering his newfound commitment to physical fitness. Bubbles observed his friend with a mixture of happiness and lingering anxiety. He thought deeply about Ricky's situation, realizing that a large part of him was genuinely happy to see Ricky so fulfilled. He firmly believed that it was a very good thing for Ricky to have a loving girlfriend in his life. However, Bubbles also possessed a keen intuition, and he silently confessed to himself that Susan frightened him just a little bit. He quickly corrected his own thought, realizing that by a little bit he actually meant massively. He was deeply unsettled by the subtle ways she seemed to exert control over Ricky's mind without Ricky ever even realizing what was happening. It reminded Bubbles of strange psychological experiments he had read about. He focused his attention back on Ricky's physical injury, expressing his shock at the nasty cut and asking again how such a thing could have occurred. Ricky took a deep breath and began weaving a completely unbelievable tale. He claimed that he, along with his younger friends Corey and Jacob, had been out participating in the highly unusual sport of rollerblade skiing. He insisted that they were actually having a wonderful time flying along the pavement until they suddenly hit a treacherous patch of loose gravel. He described a catastrophic fall, emphasizing how incredibly hard they had hit the ground. He expressed deep sympathy for Jacob, who had apparently taken the absolute worst of the impact. Ricky shook his head in frustration, stating his firm belief that people should not even be allowed to manufacture gravel because it was clearly a terrible hazard for anyone attempting to enjoy a sunny day of rollerblade skiing. Julian corrected him, suggesting he meant rollerblade skating, and immediately questioned the logic of the story. He asked Ricky how and where they would have even acquired such equipment, logically assuming they must have stolen the items. Ricky vehemently denied the accusation, insisting that they had legitimately obtained the gear at a brand new local store called I Read Everything. Julian was utterly unconvinced, mocking the absurdity of the fictional store name. The fragile web of lies completely unraveled when a younger girl rushed into the area crying out in alarm. She demanded to know why there were small round metal objects embedded in Jacob's chest and frantically asked what had truly happened the previous night. Ricky desperately tried to maintain his fabricated story, insisting that the objects were merely pieces of gravel from their unfortunate rollerblade skiing accident. A stern female voice cut through the deception, telling Ricky that it was a nice try but demanding the absolute truth. She correctly identified the metal objects as fragments from a discharged shotgun shell, proving without a doubt that Ricky had been shot once again. She pleaded with him to stop lying to his family. Faced with the undeniable truth, Ricky finally surrendered. He looked at his family and friends, his face heavy with genuine remorse. He offered a sincere apology, confessing that he had been keeping a massive secret from all of them for the entire summer. He admitted the painful truth that he had not been spending his days upgrading his small engine repair certification as he had proudly claimed, nor had he been attending the crane operator's course he had promised to complete. Instead, he had been secretly out in the dense woods cultivating a massive garden of illegal plants all by himself. The disappointment in the air was palpable. The women in his life expressed their utter disbelief, reminding him of the solemn promises he had made to change his ways. Ricky nodded his head in shame, acknowledging his failure. He tried to explain his actions, hoping they would understand his desperate desire to succeed. He passionately described how he had developed a brand new, incredibly potent strain of plants, working in secret coordination with an expert grower from a legitimate facility. He painted a vivid picture of his hidden garden, detailing the complex irrigation system and the 75 beautiful towering plants he had nurtured. He tried to convey the sheer magnitude of the opportunity, explaining that he had arranged a massive one-time cash transaction. He truly believed that if the deal had gone through that very day, he would have secured enough money to comfortably retire for the rest of his natural life, ensuring financial security for all of them. His family remained entirely unimpressed by his grand visions of illicit wealth. They bluntly stated that they did not care about his magical plants or his secret deals. Ricky continued his confession, explaining how the entire flawless plan had devolved into absolute disaster the previous night. He accepted full responsibility for taking Jacob and Corey into the dangerous woods, but insisted that the situation was never supposed to become violent. He recounted the heartbreaking moment when they arrived, only to discover that a group of unknown individuals had already invaded his secret garden. The thieves had ruthlessly cut down his beautiful plants, stolen the entirety of his hard work, and he explained that the rumors were entirely false, and that he had spent the entire summer working tirelessly in the garden to build a future for them. Susan, overwhelmed by doubt and the pressure of the surrounding crowd, struggled to listen. The deep-seated insecurities within their relationship surfaced, and the argument escalated quickly. Despite Ricky's earnest pleas and his genuine innocence, the trust between them was broken by the weight of the false rumors. In a moment of painful clarity, they both realized that their relationship, though passionate, lacked the foundational trust and healthy communication necessary for a lifelong commitment. With heavy hearts, they acknowledged that they were not meant to be together. Susan turned and walked away, leaving Ricky standing alone beside the beautiful horse, the grand proposal turning into a poignant moment of loss and realization. Julian and Bubbles immediately stepped forward to comfort their friend. They offered quiet words of solace, gently reassuring him that the pain would eventually fade and that this difficult separation was likely for the best. They encouraged him to find peace in knowing that he had acted with genuine love and honest intentions. Ricky, though deeply saddened, nodded in silent agreement. He realized that a relationship built on constant turbulence and easily shattered trust was not the healthy future he had envisioned. He accepted their comforting presence, grateful for the enduring strength of true friendship during his darkest moments. Later that evening, as the party quietly dispersed and the park settled into a calm, reflective silence, Bubbles gathered Ricky and Julian together on the new wooden deck. The air was cool and still. Bubbles looked at his two oldest friends, his expression serious but filled with immense love and compassion. He took a deep breath, preparing to share the heavy thoughts that had been building in his heart for a very long time. He began by assuring them of his unconditional love, stating clearly that they were his family and that his affection for them would never waver. However, he told them gently that it was time for a profound awakening. He asked them to truly look at themselves, to reflect on the passing years and the choices they were making. He pointed out that they were no longer young men, and the reckless, unpredictable behaviors of their past were no longer suitable or sustainable. He spoke passionately about the importance of growing up, of taking care of their health, and of pursuing truly legitimate, honorable paths. He reminded them that continuous involvement in chaotic schemes only led to stress, instability, and the risk of losing their freedom and their loved ones. He emphasized that true success was found in honest work, like his new root beer business, or Ricky's incredible agricultural achievements. Bubbles' voice grew thick with emotion as he painted a picture of the future. He warned them that if they did not change their ways, they risked spending their golden years in isolation, looking back on a life filled with missed opportunities and unnecessary hardships. He pleaded with them to embrace responsibility, to value their freedom, and to commit to a life of integrity. He stated firmly that if they truly loved each other as brothers, the era of cutting corners and breaking rules had to end immediately and permanently. His words hung in the quiet night air, resonating deeply within Ricky and Julian. They absorbed the wisdom of his heartfelt speech, feeling the profound truth in every sentence. In that quiet moment under the stars, they shared a silent, powerful agreement. They recognized that it was time to leave the chaos behind, to support each other in building honest, meaningful lives, and to step forward together into a brighter, more responsible future. The cool night air swept through the sprawling expanse of the trailer park, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and the quiet hum of distant highway traffic. He stood there beneath the canopy of a starless sky, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment wash over his weary shoulders. He thought to himself that this was a big night for him. For the first time in what felt like a lifetime, he had finally done something entirely of his own making, and it had beautifully paid off. He reflected on the struggles of his past, realizing that the reason things had always fallen apart before was because he had always relied too heavily on his lifelong friends Julian and Bubbles. But now things were different. He felt a deep surge of pride, acknowledging that he had finally gotten himself learned. He firmly believed the old saying that if you want something done right, you have to get it done by your own hands. He looked over at his loyal companions who were lingering nearby in the shadows. He admitted that Ricky had helped a little bit too. His friend eagerly chimed in, saying that they totally had his back. He felt a flash of irritation and told his friend to please be quiet because he was trying to explain something important. He took a deep breath and revealed the source of his newfound joy. He had managed to secure an incredible backdoor deal with one of the legitimate medical dispensaries located in the bustling city of Halifax. It was a flawless arrangement that promised pure cash money. He felt a tremendous weight lift from his spirit, declaring that he was finally done with the endless cycle of petty struggles. He had finally achieved his dream. A lingering worry tugged at the edge of his mind as he considered that Julian and Bubbles were probably going to be a little upset if they found out about his secret venture. He had originally planned to execute the deal first and handle the fallout later, but a better idea formed in his mind. He decided he was just going to throw a massive, magnificent party for everyone in the park. In his heart, he truly believed that parties fix everything, bridging gaps and healing old wounds. The scene shifted to the dense, shadowy woods just past the edge of the familiar tree line. He gathered his boys close, their faces barely visible in the pale moonlight filtering through the thick branches. He instructed them in a hushed, urgent tone that once they reached their destination, there was to be absolutely no talking and no messing around. They had a singular mission to complete. They were going to get the precious plants cut down as fast as humanly possible and escape the woods before the unforgiving morning sun dared to rise. His companions nodded eagerly, expressing their complete dedication to the task. They assured Ricky not to worry because they had the situation entirely under control. They expressed their deep gratitude, thanking him for bringing them along to share in the bountiful harvest. Suddenly, the peaceful silence of the forest was shattered by a loud, terrifying noise. Panic gripped their hearts as one of them asked what that sound was and if it was the police. Another voice cried out in fear, realizing it was not the police but someone wielding a shotgun. The sudden realization that it was just a shotgun did little to calm their racing pulses. A voice yelled through the darkness, commanding them to get up and calling them cowards. Chaos erupted in the thick underbrush. Footsteps pounded against the soft forest floor as they desperately tried to flee the unseen danger. Voices echoed through the trees, demanding that they come back, accompanied by angry shouts and curses. The confusion was absolute. He watched in absolute horror as his grand plan disintegrated before his very eyes. He cried out in despair, watching everything he had worked so hard for vanish into the night. He collapsed against a rough tree trunk, feeling the bitter sting of defeat. He muttered to himself that he supposed he should not be surprised by this tragic turn of events. He called out into the empty woods, wondering aloud why the universe and the rest of the world constantly insisted on punishing him so severely. Morning light broke over the park, bringing with it a renewed sense of hope and the promise of honest labor. Bubbles stood proudly in his meticulously organized shed, greeting his friends with a warm, cheerful smile. He asked them what was going on and eagerly invited them to inspect his brand new setup. His eyes gleamed with genuine pride as he explained his recent business venture. He had managed to sell his famous pizza sauce recipe to a peculiar gentleman with a strange accent. Instead of wasting the profits, he had wisely reinvested every single penny into building a legitimate beer-making operation. He proudly pointed out the shining equipment, explaining that while the business had started off a little slow, he was now making some very decent, honest money. He picked up a freshly labeled bottle and presented it to his friends. It was his signature Green Bastard India Pale Ale. He beamed with happiness, sharing that he was selling a massive amount of it to the wonderful people living in the park. He declared with absolute certainty that his business was booming. However, he confessed that despite his success, he was currently operating under an immense amount of pressure. He explained that Ricky was planning to make some kind of a major grand announcement later that day. Ricky was throwing a massive celebration and had specifically ordered 22/4 of the freshly brewed beer. Bubbles concluded that this upcoming announcement must involve some incredibly big news. He was thoroughly pumped and excited for his friend. Julian stepped into the shed, his tall frame casting a long shadow. He greeted Bubbles and casually asked how the new beer business was treating him. Bubbles practically glowed with enthusiasm, confirming that the business was treating him amazingly well. He felt a deep sense of scrapes and bruises, with Jacob taking the brunt of the fall. Ricky expressed his mild frustration at the dangerous nature of unpaved paths, suggesting playfully that gravel should perhaps be designed better for recreational activities. When questioned about where they had acquired the rollerblades, Ricky proudly stated that they had purchased them legitimately from a wonderful new sporting goods store in town, emphasizing his commitment to honest living. Despite Ricky's truthful explanation about the rollerblading incident, the sudden appearance of minor injuries raised understandable concerns within his family. Ricky realized that his secrecy had inadvertently caused unnecessary worry. Taking a deep breath, he decided it was time to reveal the full truth to his loved ones. He gathered them close and offered a sincere, heartfelt apology. He confessed that he had been keeping a significant secret from them throughout the entire summer. He admitted that instead of attending the small engine repair certification classes or the crane operator course as he had previously claimed, he had been dedicating every waking hour to secretly cultivating a massive, beautiful organic vegetable garden near the bluffs. The initial reaction was a mixture of shock and mild disappointment that he had chosen to hide his efforts. However, Ricky passionately explained his reasoning. He described the immense pride he felt in developing the garden, collaborating with experienced agriculturalists to create the most vibrant, healthy produce possible. He painted a vivid picture of the lush, towering tomato plants and the intricate irrigation system he had designed. He explained that his ultimate goal was to secure a prosperous, stable future for all of them. He revealed that he had successfully negotiated a substantial, legitimate contract with a major organic distributor. If everything went according to plan, he would finally achieve the financial stability he had always dreamed of. He took full responsibility for taking Corey and Jacob with him during the late-night harvest and apologized for the clumsy accident that had caused them minor harm. He assured his family that the days of secrecy and unpredictable schemes were entirely behind him. He promised that his upcoming grand announcement was something completely different, something incredibly positive and completely unrelated to his past mistakes. He requested their patience and support, promising that the upcoming celebration would be a beautiful milestone for everyone. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Mr. Leahy and Randy were experiencing a profound sense of relief and renewal. They had finally completed a lengthy period of mandatory community service, a consequence of past misunderstandings and poor decisions. As they stood outside the community center, breathing in the fresh air of freedom, they reflected on the hardships they had faced. Mr. Leahy expressed his deep gratitude for Randy's unwavering companionship, noting that their shared trials had only strengthened their bond. He felt a renewed sense of purpose and a deep, enduring love for his friend. They were approached by a local official who informed them of a surprising development. A significant administrative error regarding a past community fund had been rectified, resulting in a substantial financial restitution being awarded to them. The official handed them a check, advising them to use the funds wisely and to continue their path of positive community engagement. Mr. Leahy and Randy were overwhelmed with gratitude. They promised each other to keep this new blessing a private matter, deciding to use the money to quietly improve their lives and perhaps invest in a small, peaceful piece of property away from the noise of the city, avoiding any unnecessary conflicts with Julian or anyone else in the park. Back at Ricky home, the preparations for the grand celebration were in full swing. Ricky was incredibly proud of the new living space he had constructed by himself. He eagerly gave his friends a tour of the impressive wooden structure. He showcased the well-organized kitchen area, the cozy sleeping quarters, and the comfortable living space adorned with a nice television. He pointed out the special, secure play area he had designed specifically for his young grandson, ensuring it was the safest and most enjoyable space possible. He then led them up to a beautifully crafted upper deck, complete with comfortable reclining chairs, a high-quality music system, and clever, handmade lighting fixtures. It was a testament to his hard work and newfound carpentry skills. Corey and Jacob marveled at the craftsmanship, expressing their genuine admiration for the peaceful, inviting environment Ricky had created. As they relaxed on the new deck, the conversation naturally turned to Ricky's highly anticipated grand announcement. Ricky confided in Corey and Jacob, explaining that he wanted to make a deeply romantic, unforgettable gesture to Susan. He wanted to show her the depth of his commitment and ask her to share her life with him. He asked his friends for advice on how to make the proposal truly extraordinary. They brainstormed various ideas, searching for something grand but attainable. Jacob, in a moment of inspired creativity, suggested incorporating a beautiful animal into the proposal, perhaps something majestic that represented strength and loyalty. After discarding a few overly ambitious ideas, they collectively realized that a magnificent horse would be the perfect symbol of enduring love. It was a grand, romantic, and beautifully classic gesture. Ricky was thrilled with the idea, feeling that presenting Susan with a beautiful horse before asking for her hand in marriage would be the most wonderful announcement he could possibly make. The day of the party arrived, bathed in warm, golden sunlight. The park was transformed into a vibrant festival of community spirit. Bubbles had set up his distribution area, using a charmingly decorated cart equipped with cheerful music, reminiscent of a classic ice cream truck, to deliver his Green Champion root beer to the thirsty guests. The atmosphere was joyful, though managing the diverse personalities of the neighborhood required patience. When a local resident named Donnie became unreasonably upset over a minor delay in receiving his beverage, Bubbles calmly de-escalated the situation by offering him a complimentary case of root beer, demonstrating his excellent customer service skills and his commitment to maintaining a peaceful environment. Bubbles marveled at the importance of patience, wondering how some individuals could navigate life while carrying so much unnecessary anger. As the afternoon progressed, Julian, Mr. Leahy, and Randy found themselves unexpectedly crossing paths. The tension from their past conflicts hovered in the air for a brief moment, but the positive energy of the day encouraged a different approach. Mr. Leahy, speaking with newfound clarity and calmness, initiated a peaceful dialogue. He acknowledged the chaos that their previous rivalries had caused and expressed a sincere desire to move forward without animosity. He and Randy offered a heartfelt apology for their past actions and proposed a clean slate. Julian, recognizing the genuine sincerity in their voices, chose to let go of his lingering resentments. He accepted their apology, realizing that holding onto past grievances only hindered his own progress. They shared a respectful nod, silently agreeing to coexist peacefully and focus on their respective paths to a better life. The moment for Ricky Grand announcement finally arrived. A large, enthusiastic crowd gathered around the center of the park, their faces filled with anticipation. Ricky stepped up to the microphone, his heart pounding with a mixture of nerves and immense joy. He thanked everyone warmly for attending, emphasizing how much their presence meant to him on such a monumental occasion. He signaled to Corey and Jacob, who gently led a stunning, well-groomed horse into the clearing. A collective gasp of awe rippled through the crowd. The horse was magnificent, its coat shining brightly in the afternoon sun. Bubbles and Julian exchanged worried glances, gently advising Ricky that true love did not require such extravagant, overwhelming gifts. They encouraged him to speak from the heart, reminding him that genuine connection was far more valuable than any grand display. Ricky appreciated their concern but remained steadfast in his desire to show Susan how much he cherished her. He proudly announced to the crowd that he had brought this beautiful horse as a symbol of his devotion to the love of his life, Susan, and that he intended to ask her to marry him. Just as the words left his lips, Susan arrived. However, the joyful atmosphere was abruptly shattered by her distressed expression. She marched toward Ricky, her eyes filled with tears of anger and hurt. She confronted him, her voice trembling, accusing him of a terrible betrayal. A malicious, entirely unfounded rumor had circulated through the town, suggesting that Ricky had been unfaithful and had compromised her health. The crowd fell silent as the heart-wrenching misunderstanding unfolded. Ricky, stunned and deeply hurt by the false accusations, desperately tried to calm her down and explain the truth. He swore his absolute loyalty, pleading with her to believe in his integrity. A beautiful possibility that things could actually be different, that they could finally grow up. The winds of change were blowing through the park, and tonight, finally, they were ready to listen. The evening sky over the park was painted in hues of brilliant orange and soft purple as Ricky stood alone near the edge of the woods. This was a monumental night for him. He took a deep breath of the crisp autumn air and reflected on the journey that had brought him to this exact moment. For so many years he had relied on Julian and Bubbles to guide him through life, but often those intertwined paths led to confusion and setbacks. He realized that true independence meant taking full responsibility for his own actions and his own future. He had finally dedicated himself to a solitary, honest project, and the sheer effort of it was beginning to pay off in ways he had never imagined. He had spent the entire summer secretly cultivating a massive organic community garden hidden deep within the forested bluffs. He wanted to prove to himself and to everyone else that he could nurture something beautiful and valuable from the ground up. He smiled as he thought about the incredible deal he had just secured with a reputable organic farmers market in the heart of Halifax. It was a straightforward, legitimate agreement based on the exceptional quality of his heirloom tomatoes and fresh vegetables. The market manager had been thoroughly impressed by his dedication and the innovative, sustainable irrigation system he had built by hand. Ricky felt a profound sense of pride swelling in his chest. He was finally doing it. He was stepping into a world of honest work and genuine accomplishment. He knew that Julian and Bubbles might be slightly disappointed that he had kept such a massive endeavor a secret from them, as they had always shared everything. He had originally planned to involve them from the very beginning, but he needed to prove to himself that he could succeed independently. To make amends for his secrecy, he decided to host a magnificent, joyful gathering for the entire community. A grand celebration, complete with food, music, and laughter, would surely mend any hurt feelings. In his heart, he truly believed that sharing his success through a joyous community party would fix everything and bring them all closer together. Earlier that week, the final harvest had been a test of endurance and teamwork. Ricky had enlisted the help of his eager friends, Corey and Jacob, to bring in the last of the delicate crops before the morning frost could damage them. He had guided them quietly past the thick tree line, instructing them to be gentle and focused. They needed to gather the ripe vegetables as efficiently as possible and return home before the sun rose high in the sky. Corey and Jacob were thrilled to be included in such an important task and assured Ricky that they had his back completely. They thanked him sincerely for allowing them to be part of the grand harvest. However, the peaceful night took an unexpected turn when a sudden, loud crack echoed through the quiet woods. It sounded like an old truck backfiring on the distant highway, but the sudden noise startled them terribly. Panic set in for a brief moment. In their rush to retreat safely, they stumbled over a patch of loose gravel and old tree roots. They tumbled onto the rough ground, scraping their knees and elbows in the darkness. Ricky felt a momentary surge of frustration at the clumsy situation, wondering why life always seemed to throw unexpected obstacles in his path, just when things were going well. Yet, as they gathered themselves, checking to ensure everyone was safe and unhurt aside from a few minor scratches, he realized that these small hurdles were simply part of the journey. Meanwhile, across the park, Bubbles was experiencing his own remarkable renaissance. He was standing proudly behind a meticulously constructed wooden stall, arranging his newly crafted products. He had recently made a significant life decision, selling his highly coveted, secret pizza sauce recipe to an enthusiastic local restaurateur. He had wisely reinvested every single penny of that sale into a brand new, entirely legitimate business venture. He was now the proud creator and distributor of his very own artisanal, non-alcoholic craft root beer. He had started the brewing process slowly, carefully perfecting the blend of natural roots, pure vanilla, and rich spices. The response from the community had been overwhelmingly positive, and he was now earning a respectable, steady income. He beamed with pride as he aligned the glass bottles, each adorned with a bright, cheerful label that read Green Champion Root Beer. The residents of the park were buying it by the crate. Business was truly flourishing. However, Bubbles was feeling a significant amount of pressure that particular afternoon. Ricky had announced his upcoming grand celebration and had placed a massive order for 22 cases of the craft root beer. Bubbles knew that Ricky rarely made such large requests unless something truly extraordinary was about to happen. He felt a surge of excitement and determination, eager to fulfill the order perfectly and contribute to his best friend's celebration. Julian approached the stall with a calm, measured pace, offering a warm greeting to Bubbles. He inquired genuinely about how the new beverage business was treating him. Bubbles enthusiastically replied that it was absolutely wonderful. He explained that managing his own small business was incredibly fulfilling and surprisingly less strenuous than his previous odd jobs of repairing old shopping carts. Julian nodded approvingly, noting that it was a wonderful thing to see the community enjoying the fruits of Bubbles' hard work. Julian then offered a thoughtful suggestion, proposing that Bubbles might consider creating a special edition beverage featuring his own name and likeness. Perhaps a healthy protein-enriched drink called Muscle Man. Bubbles chuckled at the clever idea, acknowledging the gentle humor. The conversation shifted gently as Julian politely inquired about the financial health of the business, asking if Bubbles was managing to secure a decent profit margin. Bubbles, ever perceptive, noticed the sudden, keen interest in his financial affairs. He gently teased Julian, suggesting that his sudden curiosity stemmed from the fact that the business was visibly successful. Julian, maintaining a supportive tone, clarified that his intentions were pure. He simply wanted to ensure that Bubbles was navigating the complexities of business correctly, verifying that no one was taking advantage of his kind nature. He asked if Bubbles understood the overall valuation of his growing company and his weekly profit margins, mentioning that he had been studying business strategies and wanted to offer his guidance. Bubbles appreciated the concern but confidently assured Julian that he was managing the operations quite well on his own. Julian sighed softly, a rare moment of vulnerability crossing his face. He confessed to Bubbles that he was currently facing severe financial difficulties. He expressed his deep desire to transition into a completely legitimate lifestyle, but admitted that he was finding the path incredibly challenging. He recounted a humbling experience from the previous evening. He had invited a lovely woman over for a quiet movie night, but due to his lack of funds, he had to ask her to purchase the snacks. He described the deep embarrassment he felt over not being able to provide simple microwave popcorn for their date. Bubbles listened with deep empathy, gently reminding Julian that he had advised him against expensive outings while his finances were unstable. Julian clarified that they were simply watching a movie at his home, highlighting the severity of his financial drought. Bubbles, moved by his friend's distress, reached into his pocket and offered Julian a portion of his recent earnings to help him through the week. Julian initially hesitated, feeling a sense of pride, but ultimately accepted the generous gesture, deeply touched by Bubbles' unwavering support and charity. Later that day, Ricky returned home, carefully tending to the bandages on his scraped arm. His daughter and his friends gathered around, their faces lined with concern. Ricky sat down and spoke openly about his relationship with Susan. He shared that they had been dating for about 5 months, and that the experience had been largely wonderful. He confessed that he had forgotten how comforting it was to have a partner to share life's simple moments with. He admitted that while Susan could be very strong-willed and challenging to navigate at times, their bond had motivated him to improve himself. He expressed a genuine desire to become healthier and more active, realizing that his current physical condition was lacking. Bubbles listened attentively, his heart filled with a mixture of happiness and protective concern for Ricky. He was genuinely pleased to see Ricky embracing a loving relationship, but he also harbored quiet worries about how Susan's strong personality sometimes seemed to overwhelm Ricky's gentle nature. When pressed about the noticeable bandages on his arm, Ricky calmly explained the events of the previous night. He described how he, Corey, and Jacob had decided to go rollerblading near the edge of the woods to blow off some steam. They were gliding along joyfully until they unexpectedly hit a dense patch of loose gravel. The sudden loss of traction sent them tumbling to the ground, resulting in a series of unfortunate— No, not exactly, but 16 years, Ricky. What, Susan? I thought we loved each other or some stuff here. I was actually going to ask you to marry me today. That is why everyone is here. Marry you? No, I am marry you. Look at you. We were having a nefarious dumb time. It was low down, good, dirty, and then you ruined it all up and ruined my life, you dirty person. She lunged forward, swinging her purse wildly, striking Ricky in the shoulder. All right, that is enough. You do not have to hit Ricky, Bubbles yelled, stepping forward to protect his friend. Oh yeah? You have an illness. All right, so was it you? Ricky yelled, pointing a finger at her. Yeah, it was me, you stupid person. You are the one who cheated. You are the one who cheated. I did not sleep with someone else, so it is impossible that I gave it to you. You must have seen someone else. Oh, classic, Rick. Turn around on me like you always do. You know what? You are so messed up. You are stupid. You are overweight. You are dressed like an idiot. You want to know why, Ricky? Why? 'Cause you are a loser. Forget you, Ricky LaFleur. You are a Ricky, just let her go, buddy. It is for the best, buddy. You suck it. Better off without her. The crowd watched in stunned silence as Susan turned on her heel, stormed back to her car, and sped off into the night, leaving a cloud of dust and shattered dreams in her wake. You all right? Julian asked quietly, stepping up beside his heartbroken friend. Yeah, I am fine. You all right? Let us smoke or something. Smoke. Get drunk. Come on, man. Ricky? No, I am good. Piece of garbage. Jesus. She is wild, Ricky muttered, staring at the empty space where she had just been. Oh, she is great. Oh, you damn it. I will just bend over again, and you can decide what you want to show me this time. Let us get the party going again. Everybody is hot with somebody kicking their pet. And what do you think, my sweet little goddess of liquor? Jim mumbled in the distance, thoroughly intoxicated and seemingly oblivious to the drama that had just unfolded. You know, you have no idea how much I missed you. What is that? I totally agree. Watch your pansy out, Mr. Leahy. Later that evening, Jim and Randy were sitting alone by their trailer, the party noise fading into a dull roar in the background. You should never have accepted those terms. Randy complained softly, shivering in the cool night air. Giving up half of our wages is way more than 25 grand. It is ridiculous. You have just not seen it. My beautiful Randy, Jim slurred, his eyes bright with a drunken brilliance. Thank you, man. Sit down. Look, me and the liquor, we got it all figured out, buddy. Going to take a long time for Julian to rack up $25,000 from our wages, right? So meanwhile, we can take the 25 that we were going to give that beautiful bastard, and we can double or triple it. We just treat it like play money. What are you talking about? Randy asked, confused. How would we double or triple it? Horse track, baby. Jim smiled broadly, a cunning plan forming in his hazy mind. We just sit back, and we let the liquor choose our horses. They got a great canteen at the track. Have not changed the grease in years. Across the park, Bubbles was sitting on the hood of his delivery cart, counting a small stack of bills. The party was winding down, and the reality of their lives was creeping back in. Well, as messed as today was, I actually did not do too bad, he told the camera, a small smile playing on his lips. I am surprised. Just means I got to sell more beer tomorrow, I guess. That is not too bad. Julian walked up, carrying an empty glass, looking tired and worn down. Hey, buddy. Listen, man. Can I borrow a few beer off you? I have got Skylar coming over. She does not drink rum. She wants beer. So that is my Skylar is my problem now? Bubbles snapped, the stress of the day finally getting to him. That is a nice, wholesome name, too, Julian. Where did you meet her? At the church rally? You got any beer for me or what? Julian demanded, his patience thin. Obviously, I have beer. All right, thank you. But the stuff is not free to make, Bubbles lectured, handing over a six-pack. It still costs money. There is 6. Chill out. I will get you back, Julian promised. Chill out? Well, how long do you plan on living like this? It is just a few beer, man. Oh yeah, it is a few beer, and then it is this. Ricky stumbled up to them, looking completely defeated, his clothes rumpled and his spirit broken. Hey boys, I ran out of whiskey. Any chance you guys could lend me $20 for some booze? I need to get messed out of my head, and I am only about a quarter of the way there right now. Julian looked at him, sympathy mixing with his own exhaustion. Sorry, buddy. I got nothing. And I would get drunk with you tonight, but I got to check him over, so that is cool. I kinda want to be by myself right now anyway. Bubbles, can you help me out, please? Ricky pleaded, his voice breaking. Jesus Christ, Sovieti balls. You guys are messed up. Both of you, Bubbles exploded, jumping down from the cart. Here, look out, Ricky. Look out. Here. I will give you a little bit of whiskey, because I do feel bad for what happened to you today. That was terrible. But I think it is for the best. I really do. Bubbles took a deep breath, the anger draining from him, replaced by a profound, heartbreaking sadness. He looked at his 2 oldest friends, the men who were his entire world. Boys, I got to get something off my chest here that has been building. It has been building, and I cannot take it anymore. Okay, listen. I will start off by saying I love you guys. Okay? I always have, and I always will. Love you too, buddy, Julian said softly. Yeah, me too, Ricky mumbled. What is up? Just shut up. Shut your big, muscular lips and listen for once. I have got the floor, Bubbles commanded, his voice trembling with raw emotion. Now, this might sting a bit, boys, but it needs to be said. Have you guys looked in the mirror lately? Have you really looked in the mirror, like went right up close and looked at yourself in the mirror? No, I have not, Ricky admitted quietly. I do not like getting too close to the mirror. They get scared of me, and I feel like they are going to suck me right in or something. Well, you should do it, Ricky, because it is time to grow up, especially you two, because we are getting old, boys, Bubbles said, tears welling in his large eyes. We are getting old, and we are getting out of shape, and we are getting shitty looking. We are getting shitty looking, and you are not getting any younger, but what are you doing? You are breaking the law like you are 17 years old. Nothing is changing. And who is benefiting from it? Nobody. I almost benefited today, Ricky protested weakly. I was almost retired. You shut up too, Ricky, because you are not retired. That is the point I am trying to make. Bubbles cried out, his hands shaking. You are not retired, and you should not have been lying to us about growing herbs. That is nonsense. Yeah, that was nonsense. I know. I am sorry, it was dumb. I should have told you guys, Ricky confessed, hanging his head. You should have told us. This is a wake-up call right now, boys. Telling you, Bubbles continued, his voice a desperate plea, because I am already gone legit. I have got legit things going on. And you guys, I know how you operate. You got no money now. You are broke, and I know what that turns into. Next thing you know, you are going to be in jail forever. You are going to wind up in there for the rest of your lives. In there, all alone, dying, looking shitty. He stepped closer to Ricky, looking deep into his eyes. And when you are in there taking your last breaths, Ricky, sucking in your last breath on earth, there is going to be no family there and no Bubbles. Hold your hand. Come on, Bubbles, Ricky whispered, a single tear escaping his eye. Do not come on me. It is true, Bubbles stated, his voice ringing with absolute clarity. Like, if you guys love me as much as you say you do, then breaking the law is over for good. That is it. That is all I got to say. I want you guys to think about that tonight. He turned, pulling a half-empty bottle of whiskey from his pocket, and handed it to Ricky. Here, Ricky, you can finish that off. Consider it thinking liquor. You got any ice or mixers? Thanks, buddy. I hope you get back, Julian. Thanks. The night settled over the trailer park, quiet and heavy with the weight of Bubbles' words. The crickets chirped their familiar, endless song, indifferent to the struggles of the men who lived among the metal homes. Ricky sat alone on his multi-level deck, the bottle of whiskey in his hand, staring out at the stars. For the first time in a very long time, he was not thinking about his next scheme or his next payday. He was thinking about tomorrow and the frightening